Welcome to Neosho Wildcat Baseball, live on KNEO.org. This broadcast is a sporting outreach of the KNEO Sports Network. You're now locked into the official pregame show of the Neosho Wildcats. Now let's go to the game site for all the action.
And good evening, Wildcat fans from the Marion Family Sports Complex. We're over on the Roy B. Schaefer side for a baseball game between your Neosho Wildcats and the Chiefs from Kickapoo. Matt, the ball game is going to start here in a little bit, despite the fact that Kickapoo had some team bus troubles and they had to go get another bus. But, boy, what a beautiful, beautiful day for baseball.
It is. There's hardly any clouds in the sky. It's 62 degrees right now.
Well, Kickapoo comes in with a record of 7-7. They are 1-2 in the COC. They have beat Joplin and they have beat Carthage, so they actually have 2 wins. But they lost to a very, very good Willard team, who, by the way, beat Nixa the other night 6-0. They returned some starters, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. We'll get this ball game underway. Coach Jason Hauser is in his 21st season, and he has a career win record of 389 wins. They returned 3 starters and 9 letter winners from a season last year that was 16-21. So a beautiful, beautiful day for baseball. The Cats are on top of things, and we will start here in just a few minutes, but this is the pregame show. It is brought to you by ProLube, your tire and auto center. You're going to be watching the Neosho Wildcats with a 4:30 start, and we're going to take time out for this, and then we'll be right back. The Neosho Wildcat Baseball on KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network.
People's Bank of Seneca, we care about your journey every step of the way. Since 1996, we've dedicated to providing excellent customer service across the 4-state area, ensuring that every experience is exceptional. Visit us in Joplin, Neosho, or Seneca. Learn more at peoplesbankofseneca.com. Member FDIC. Proud sponsor of area athletics. Let's score big together.
The Neosho R5 School District is committed to shaping the future, one student at a time. From academics to athletics, we empower our students to reach their full potential, installing values of hard work, teamwork, and integrity. We would like to thank you for tuning in to the broadcast today and cheering on our Wildcats. Our dedicated teachers, staff, and coaches work hand in hand to provide a well-rounded education that prepares students for success. Together, we're building a brighter tomorrow for our community. The Neosho R5 School District, where excellence thrives.
Being a Lion comes with a reputation for excellence. Whether it's in the classroom, on the court, or in the community, Lions are leading the way. With innovative and immersive academic programs, new scholarship opportunities, and a campus committed to the future, now is the perfect time to find your purpose. Find your pride at Missouri Southern State University.
In a sense, we all live in earthquake zones. Sometimes things in our world are shaken by forces we can't control. It might be one of those times in your life right now. Life's quakes remind us how breakable and vulnerable we are. You were made for a relationship with Jesus Christ. Only through Him can you be safe for all eternity. He proved it by His blood when He died on the cross to pay for every sin you've ever committed. To learn more, call 888-NEED-HIM.
Happy Egg supports the family farmer because they've seen the difference a choice like this can make. Now you can grow for Happy Egg and choose to raise hens the right way, the happy way. When you grow for Happy Egg, you are growing for a family-owned and operated business. You're raising happy hens on 10+ acres who will lay happy eggs. You're working for yourself. As a Happy Egg grower, you'll receive new flock cost support and yield-based compensation. Visit happyegg.com/grower to apply today.
Compton CPA Group PC, located at 112 Northwood in Neosho, is a full-service accounting firm and is proud to support the Neosho Wildcats. Compton CPA Group PC can assist you at every stage of your financial life and help you work toward your financial goals. From tax preparation to bookkeeping services, Compton CPA Group PC has you covered. For all your tax and business affairs, call 417-451-2932 or learn more at ComptonCPAGroup.com.
Tally Tire at 18152 East Highway 86 is a proud supporter of local high school athletics. Tally Tire is your full-service car and truck headquarters. They carry name-brand tires such as Nexen, Mastercraft and Uniroyal, ATC camper shells and bed covers, and do oil changes and tune-ups. Call Tally Tire today for all your automotive needs at 417-451-0457 or online at tallytire.com.
You've got to have someone that understands what you are doing as a mission. Community bankers are important that way because they understand the community relationships that we have to form to be successful.
I feel like First Community Bank and Myers-Davis, our cultures are so similar. It is all about relationships.
It's a real boon to our community to have a bank like First Community to be supportive of so many things.
They're willing to take a chance on entrepreneurs, which is helpful to make the community grow.
Welcome back to the Marion Family Complex. John Ball and Matt Ball with you. We're getting ready to start a ball game, and what you see out there right now was the home team, the Neosho Wildcats, and they're getting things going for this ball game tonight. Historically, we are 2-3, with the Wildcats winning last year by a score of 5-0. The Cats now have a record of 13-2. Man, it was a great ball game last night. We had the southpaw on the mound, Brody Arthur, and he pitched a gem of a ball game, going only 5 innings, as Neosho was able to run rule the Mount Vernon Mountaineers. The Mountaineers just never did get going, did they?
No, you know, he only had 59 pitches last night.
Yeah, he did, and of course, he's got that natural curveball. Then he's got a, we're going to call it a backdoor curveball as well, and a fastball. And he mixes those up so well. Did a great job. Of course, our defense had another double play ball. This one was a 3-6-3. First baseman catches a ground ball, throws it to Hudson Williams, shortstop, and he throws it right back to first base for the double play ball. And Hudson also finished the ball game with and I'm going to say this a couple of times, inside the park grand slam home run. That's right, you heard it right. An inside the park grand slam home run, and the Cats finished the ball game in the 5th inning by a score of 11-1. So it was exciting ball game. Also in the midst of that ball game, Brody Crane hit a towering home run over the left center field fence. The catcher, Kenton Smith, had 2 hits on the night. He had a double and he had a triple, and put that with a home run that just kept right on going, and the Cats were able to outscore Mount Vernon without a whole lot of trouble. And we're going to call that a bounce back Monday, which is exactly what Coach Kilgore called it. They went down to Fort Smith and played Fort Smith Southside on Saturday and got beat 2-1, and they were tied all the way through the 6th inning before that ball game finished. So they most definitely had their daubers down just a little bit, and they made up for it. And unfortunately, Mount Vernon was the one that ended up having to suffer the sacrifice for it. Cats are playing some really good ball. They are 13-2. Matt, as far as district is concerned, they're still number 1 in the district, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Now, our nemesis has changed just a little bit from Nixa to Ozark, and we will be playing Ozark on Thursday night. They won their 13th ball game last night, but they are 13-4. So we're going to take another timeout, and we will be back with the hopefully we'll have the starters. We'll see where we go. We've got an idea about what the Neosho starters are. We don't have them from Coach Hauser just yet. As we said, they had some bus issues getting here, and he said he'd bring them up to us. You're watching the Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Sam Gorham and Aaron Mitchell are your specialty risk insurance agents for Neosho and the surrounding area. They've been involved in Neosho sports since their own high school days and know the importance of athletic competition and how it teaches students life lessons every day. For all your home, auto, life, farm, ranch, and crop insurance needs, call Sam Gorham today at 417-850-5116 or Aaron Mitchell at 417-483-8337. You can also learn more online at specialtyriskinsuranceagency.com. Go Wildcats!
At ProLube Tire and Auto Center, we know what it means to rely on your vehicle. We race all year and know how to get that extra inch out of every part. Precision, quality, and reliability are not just words to us. It's what we do every day. We know you rely on your vehicle to perform for your family. From oil changes to full-on repairs, ProLube gives you the best racetrack team experience, so you can be worry-free.
ProLube Tire and Auto Center, where we get it right on the road and the track.
Southwest Missouri Bank in Neosho serves the Neosho area from 2 locations. They offer business banking services including checking and savings accounts, business loans, and electronic banking. Learn more online at smbonline.com. Southwest Missouri Bank, a proud sponsor of community broadcasting on KNEO, equal housing lender, member FDIC, where their slogan is Southwest Missouri Bank, we can do that.
I am a Missouri Farm Bureau insurance agent, and I'm here to talk about life, your dreams, your work, your family, and how you can protect it all with a company that will talk to you with the honesty of a farmer and take care of you with the integrity of a neighbor. I'll make sure no detail is left uncovered so your family can breathe easy. Because just like you, I chose to build a life in Missouri too. I'm a Missouri Farm Bureau insurance agent, and I'm from Missouri for life.
I am Josh Dotson with Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance Services. If you're in Missouri, I'm for you.
If you're a weekend warrior who likes to go, 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 don't let pain put the brakes on your pace. When you need help with an injury that keeps you from moving, you want an orthopedic team with a proven track record. Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is nationally recognized, and were recently named CareCheck's #1 hospital in the market and top 10% hospital in the state for hip fracture repair. Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the experience you need to keep pace with life.
Every team knows that the two-point play can be a winning move. State Farm agent Eric Norris and his team are here to help you go for 2 by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call and saves you time and money. So go for the win and score big savings by combining your home and auto. It's just another way to help life go right. Call State Farm agent Eric Norris at 417-451-6666 for more information. And go Wildcats!
You've got to have some.
At ProLube Tire and Auto Center, we know what it means to rely on your vehicle. We race all year and know how to get that extra inch out of every part. Precision, quality, and reliability are not just words to us. It's what we do every day. We know you rely on your vehicle to perform for your family. From oil changes to full-on repairs, ProLube gives you the best racetrack team experience, so you can be worry-free.
ProLube Tire and Auto Center, where we get it right on the road and the track.
Locally owned, operated, and here for you. Check out the new face of the Neosho Daily News, covering Newton County, highlighting area residents, businesses, school news, sports, and more. Find us on Facebook at Neosho Daily News or call 417-451-1520. Go get 'em, Wildcats!
Welcome back to the Marion Family Complex. We're going to get things going here in just a few minutes. As we said, we've got a couple of different things going on, and Kickapoo got here just a little bit late, so we've got someone that's going to go down with the starters. We can tell you what we think the starters might be, but right now it's time, Matt, for Keys to the Cats. Let's Let's do Keys to the Cats. What do you say? Keys to the Cats are being brought to you by Eric Norris. He's your State Farm agent here in Neosho. He and his team are there to bundle things up for you and to save you money. You can get a hold of them at ericnorrisinsurance.com or 417-451-3366. Keys to the Cats. See, tonight we've got to be creative. Last night the Cats were up against probably the best catcher that they've seen all year long in Brandon Dodson, who stopped the stealing game with a great arm. So the Cats had to revert to the long ball and continue to speed on the bases and extend some hits, as Hudson Williams did with his inside the park, and we'll say that several times, inside the park grand slam home run. A stands for we need to not stop working and be very, very active on the base path again tonight. That's still the name of the game for the Cats. Disrupt the pitcher and put pressure on the defense. So if we do that again tonight and get back into our normal mode, then it's going to be a long night for Kickapoo. T, take off our plays better. Get going and get going fast. We've got to set the tone of this ball game. That means for Sluice, the spark plug gets on base first. We get him around and we get him in scoring positions. We manufacture runs, and we do it early, just like we did last night. We scored 4 runs in the first inning, including a 3-run homer by Brody Crane. Let's do that again tonight, Matt. What do you say?
I'd like to see it.
Yeah, and S, let's stay the course. We're at the top of the COC right now. In district playoffs, let's stay right there. And right now it keeps us going. We have a chance to be 4-0 in the COC before we go to Ozark Thursday night. And a game with Ozark would not only have COC, but also have district implications. So let's make it right. And the way that we do that is we score, score, score.
Rattle them bats, boys.
Rattle the bats. Put the barrel of the bat on the ball. And that's exactly what we've got going. We are going to come back in just a few minutes, and we will have the starting lineups as we get them down. You're watching Neosho High School and the KNEO Neosho Wildcat Sports Network.
Crowder College, your future, our focus. At Crowder College, we have 6 convenient locations in Southwest Missouri and online programs to fit your needs. Flexible scheduling provides a pathway to a career or the opportunity to transfer to a 4-year university in a variety of programs. Cheer for the Rough Riders at athletic events. Use the Missouri A+ Scholarship Program for free tuition and common fees. At Crowder College, your future is our focus. Apply today at crowder.edu.
Every team knows that the 2-point play can be a winning move. State Farm agent Eric Norris and his team are here to help you go for 2 by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call and saves you time and money. So go for the win and score big savings by combining your home and auto. It's just another way to help life go right. Call State Farm agent Eric Norris at 417-451-6666 for more information. And go Wildcats!
Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Joe Ringstaff, your Neosho Edward Jones financial advisor, understands this. That's why Joe Ringstaff is a proud sponsor of the Neosho Wildcats on KNEO. For all your investment needs, call 417-451-7789 or stop by the office at 2502 Lusk Drive, Suite D in Neosho. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
This is Pastor Barry Reel from the First Free Will Baptist Church of Neosho. Though our culture seems to be rejecting the idea of truth, we remain committed to obeying God's Word by speaking the truth in love. We would love to share God's truth and love with you. We're located at 960 Burr Crossing Road in Neosho, and we meet on Sunday mornings at 10:45 a.m. and then again on Sunday and Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. Find us on Facebook at First Free Will Baptist Neosho or call 918-413-5465.
Family Market, located at 201 North Neosho Boulevard, is your friendly hometown grocery store with delicious deli and the best selection of fresh meats and beautiful produce. Family Market can also take care of all your catering needs. Whether your upcoming event is big or small, Family Market can handle it all. Call 451-0057. That's 451-0057. Check out the Family Market Facebook page for weekly specials. Go Wildcats from Family Market of Neosho.
I'm a Missouri Farm Bureau insurance agent. I'm for working hard for what you get and then protecting what you've got. Your home, your vehicles, your life. I'm for making an honest living and taking pride in what you do, and for giving back to the community I call home. I'm for serving my clients with the respect and dignity you would expect from the farmers that started this company. And though I know you probably hope you never need me, I'm here for you when you do. I'm a Missouri Farm Bureau insurance agent, and if you're a Missourian, I'm for you.
I am Josh Dotson with Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance Services. If you're in Missouri, I'm for you.
Hi, I'm Sam O'Neill with Affordable Propane of Neosho. From setting tanks to refilling them, we offer a full spectrum of service to meet your every need. We serve Neosho and surrounding areas, and we are committed to giving you better service at better prices. Give us a call today, 417-437-8927. Thank you.
Today's Wildcat game is brought to you by Edgewood Bowling Center of Neosho, Missouri. Located at 2811 Gardner Edgewood Drive, they now have new synthetic lanes for adult and children bowling leagues and a smoke-free environment. They also have a certified pro shop and hosting for private parties. They offer Cosmic Glow Bowling on Fridays and Saturdays after 8 p.m. To learn more about Edgewood Bowling Center and their leagues for adults and children, the phone number is 417-451-4505.
KNEO would like to thank the Big Nickel for sponsoring this portion of broadcasting on 91.7 FM. The Big Nickel is an advertising shopper for thousands of different items, from automobiles and livestock to help wanted and real estate. It covers a 70-mile radius in the 4-state area and is available in area businesses each week. Located at 1931 East 20th Street, Suite 103 in Joplin, Missouri. Their telephone number is 417-624-4100.
Insurance Benefits Consultants now has 2 locations to serve you. They're located at 1009 South Neosho Boulevard in Neosho and at 701 Northwest McNelly Road in Bentonville, Arkansas. They are proud supporters of the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. They provide Medicare and Medicaid supplemental policies, as well as life, health, and group health insurance plans from companies like Allstate and Colonial. For more information, call 417-451-4244 or in Arkansas, 479-431-5226.
And welcome back. We are at the Marion Family Sports Complex, and we're about to ready to get this ball game underway, Matt. We finally got the starters from both teams, so we will announce the starters here in just a minute. There's plenty of time to get out here to the ballpark. The team from Kickapoo is now going to take their warm-ups, and we'll be getting this ball game underway in just a few minutes. Matt, it's not near as busy today as it was yesterday, is it?
No, but you know what? It's still just a tick early, for everybody, the early start on the game. But, most games start at 5, so.
Yeah, they certainly do. And one thing about the COC and the new alignment, we've got some teams that come from a long ways away, so we will get started just a little bit early. In fact, we will begin Ozark on Thursday night, and that will be a 4:30 start time. We'll have the pregame show about 4 o'clock, and then we'll be back here on Friday night as we take on the Pea Ridge Ridge Runners. So that is a good full week of baseball, and we're grateful to have you with us. We're thankful for all of our sponsors. We want to thank Tally Tire, Insurance Benefit Consultants of Neosho, the law firm of Woods and Peterson, Newmac Electric, Sports Locker, KSN, KODE, and Zach's Car Wash. Without those sponsors, we wouldn't have an opportunity to be here. And we will tell you that we are getting ready to start, and we will start with the Kickapoo Chiefs. All we've got are last names right now, but starting out in left field, number 1 will be Scott. Number 2 hitter is C. Smith that plays second base. Number 3 will be the catcher behind home plate, and that's East, and he wears number 44. For the 4th hitter will be Long. He also plays right field and wears number 1 on his back. Number 5 hitter wearing number 8 is D. Smith, and he plays third base. Number 12, the DH, is Clollinger. Lupari will be playing center field, and he'll hit in the 7th position. Wilson will be hitting in the 8th position. He plays first base. Hill will be hitting in the 9th position, and he plays shortstop. The pitcher on the mound is Colin Muldoon. He is the number 1 pitcher in the area so far. He is a southpaw, and Cats will get a chance to see them. For your Neosho Wildcats, we start off the same way that we have. It'll be Fenver Sluice playing center field, and he'll start us off. Then it'll be Jaden Nichols, the third baseman. Canton Smith, who had a 2-hit performance last night, hitting a double and a stand-up triple, will be hitting in the 3-hole. Number 27, the big first baseman, Liam McInturf, will be hitting in the 4th spot. He'll be followed by a sophomore that plays in left field, Drake Jennings. Then the guy that hit the towering home run last night, Brody Crane, will be in the designated hitter's position. We will see Mr. Crane on the mound Thursday night against Ozark. Alex Rodriguez is in the number 7 position. He'll be playing right field. Jaden Fisher, the second baseman, will be hitting in the 8th spot. And Hudson Williams, the guy that had the Inside the Park Grand Slam last night, walk-off Grand Slam to finish the ball game for the Cats. Hudson Williams will be hitting in the 9th position. On the mound for the Cats is Boston Patterson. We've seen Boston pitch ourselves 4 times now, and he's won every ball game, so we've got just a pretty good battery. We had a great outing last night from Brody Arthur, and certainly thinking about what's going on there, he is coming in and priming at exactly the right time. The Cats could use another good pitcher right in the midst of the rotation. However, we've got a lot of arms, Matt, that we can bring in at any given time, but to see Arthur pitch the way he did last night is totally encouraging as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it is. You know, he's definitely complex. You know, he didn't just get up there and throw fastballs. He's got all those curves like you were talking about, so.
Yeah, it really does. Well, it looks like we're going to take another timeout, and we'll be back. We may not get this ball game started at exactly 4:30, but it's going to be really close. You're watching the Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. We're going to take time out, and we'll be right back after this.
Every team knows that the two-point play can be a winning move. State Farm agent Eric Norris and his team are here to help you go for 2 by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call and saves you time and money. So go for the win and score big savings by combining your home and auto. It's just another way to help life go right. Call State Farm agent Eric Norris at 417-451-6666 for more information. And go Wildcats!
Hi, I'm Barry Reel with First Free Will Baptist Church of Neosho, and I want to give you some encouragement today. None of us are perfect, but sometimes we feel like we have messed our lives up so badly that even God can't fix us or help us. I want to assure you that's not the case. In Romans 8:28, we read that God causes all things to work together for good to those who love Him and are called according to His purpose. That means that God can even use your mistakes to do good in your life. I want to encourage you to trust God and let Him give you peace about your past, a purpose in your present, and hope for your future. With KNEO Radio, this is Barry Reel.
KNEO would like to thank the Big Nickel for sponsoring this portion of broadcasting on 91.7 FM. The Big Nickel is an advertising shopper for thousands of different items, from automobiles and livestock to help wanted and real estate. It covers a 70-mile radius in the 4-state area and is available in area businesses each week. Located at 1931 East 20th Street, Suite 103 in Joplin, Missouri. Their telephone number is 417-624-4100.
McKay Quality Roofing is a proud supporter of KNEO Radio and the Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. They're located in their offices at 811 South Neosho Boulevard. They specialize in roof removal and replacement of residential and commercial properties. In order to serve you better, they have offices in Neosho, Cassville, and Grove, Oklahoma. Call McKay Quality Roofing at 417-455-3326 for a free quote, or go online at mckayqualityroofing.com for more information. Go Cats!
The Neosho Area Chamber of Commerce invites you to download the new Experience Neosho app, available for free on the Apple and Google Play Store. Your guide to eat, shop, play, and stay in Neosho, and your direct link to KNEO Wildcat Sports. Download the app, register to win weekly prizes, and listen to your favorite Wildcat sports. Good luck, Wildcats! We can't wait to hear you ring that bell.
And welcome back to the Marion Family Complex. John Ball, Matt Ball with you, and Kickapoo continues to take their warm-ups. We haven't seen, there's the officials over on the side, so by the time they get through warming up just a little bit, then we will get this ball game underway. Matt, what's the temperature at game time?
Well, the temperature right now is 62 degrees, and the flags out there look like they're just hanging down, but it calls for 9 mile an hour winds, west-northwest. So,
well, I think it's a beautiful afternoon, and we've got certainly some Kickapoo fans here, and the Neosho Wildcat fans are coming in slow but sure. The difficulty with starting at 4:30, some people don't get off work in time, but we fully expect to see them here in just a few minutes. Around the COC, the Wildcats, like I said, are 3-0. Kickapoo has won 2 ball games, and then of course Nixa is 3-0 COC wise, or 2-1, excuse me, because they got beat by Willard the other night.
Yeah,
remember that. And Ozark right now is in a very similar position to where we are. We talked a little bit earlier tonight about how many ball games we've each played. That was before we got on the on microphone, and we know that Neosho has done a really good job of getting as many ball games in as they possibly could. Case in point is this week, where we've got 4 ball games, 2 conference ball games and 2 non-conference ball games. But we started our season early during spring training and spring break as well. And we went to Florida and played in a tournament, got to play several teams from the East Coast, and we've come back and we have played Springdale, we've played Gravette, we have played Southside, who we played last Saturday. So Coach Kilgore is doing everything he can to get his players primed to get ready to go. Whereas Kickapoo, on the other hand, is 7-7. They've played 14 ball games, but we've played other teams. A case in point was Mount Vernon last night. They were 3-8, so they're catching up slow but sure. By the time we played Waynesville the other night, they had only played 4 ball games, as had Central. So there's something to that. If we've got according to MSHA rules, Matt, we can play 36 ball games, and be able to get all those ball games in before they get into the teeth of the very tough. And anybody you talk to will tell you that the COC is nothing but tough, especially since the new aligning this last year. And we brought in the Springfield schools. We brought in Lebanon, who we could have already played had it not been for inclement weather. We brought in Waynesville, so it certainly is a conference that is among the strongest in the entire state, and we're excited to get this ball game underway. What Coach Hauser says about Colin Muldoon is he's a lefty, but he does not, Matt, throw a single pitch that doesn't turn.
Well, yeah, that's typically your lefties, as we were talking about last night. You know, they just naturally have that curve as it releases out of their hands. You know, it's natural for them.
Yeah, it really is. Well, Muldoon was first team all-conference last year as a pitcher, and he's getting ready to start, and rightfully so. He's starting against the Cats. If I were Kickapoo, I would want to start my biggest gun against the Cats as well. So we're going to take another timeout, and we'll be ready to get this ball game underway. You're watching the Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. We'll be right back after this.
The Neosho Area Chamber of Commerce invites you to download the new Experience Neosho app, available for free on the Apple and Google Play Store. Your guide to eat, shop, play, and stay in Neosho, and your direct link to KNEO Wildcat Sports. Download the app, register to win weekly prizes, and listen to your favorite Wildcat sports. Good luck, Wildcats. We can't wait to hear you ring that bell.
At the Hillcrest Church of Christ, we're striving to be His own people, eager to do what is good. Join us for worship at 10 and 6 Sundays, and for class Sunday morning at 9 and Wednesday evening at 7. You're sure to find a warm welcome and friendly people seeking to please God according to His Word. Wildcats, join us every Tuesday morning before school for Devo and Donuts at 7 a.m. Learn more about the Hillcrest Church of Christ at neoshochurchofchrist.org.
The Freeman Family YMCA is a proud sponsor of high school sports. Serving the four-state area, the Freeman Family Y believes in putting Christian principles into practice through programs, building a healthy spirit, mind, and body. With 2 locations to serve the area in Grove, Oklahoma, and Neosho, the Freeman Family Y open 5:30 to 9 Monday through Saturday, 1 to 5 on Sunday. For more information, you can go online to ymcaswmo.org or call us at 417-455-9999. And welcome back. We are about ready to get this ball game underway. Coach Jason Hauser, we talked about him earlier, and he has been with Kickapoo for 21 years. However, I just found out a few minutes ago that he played baseball at Crowder College. So another Crowder alumni has done good and continues to do good. That just tells you something about the coaches that we've got at Crowder College. We're getting ready. Coach Arthur is over there at the public address system, and he is announcing the Kickapoo Chiefs right now. And they're standing out. Now the flag is blowing just a little bit. I think, like you said, it's probably at that 9 mile an hour deal, and it is coming from left to right field, much like it did last night. And Coach Kilgore goes over, and he's ready. He's clapping his hands, and he's saying the Cats are ready to get going. We're excited about this ball game because this is a ball game again tonight that is much like it was against Glendale. Now we have a pretty good idea about who we are and what we're really doing. Finn Versluis, the center fielder, he's the guy that'll start it off for the Cats. Jaden Nichols has been hitting the ball, and he's been hitting it right on the nose. The other night he had 2 line shots right to the shortstop. And there is the senior Canton Smith, who had 2 hits last night. Here's probably the most disciplined hitter in the ball club, Liam McInturf. The second most disciplined is going to be the sophomore Drake Jennings, who's going to be playing left field. In the DH position is Brody Crane. A-Rod be playing right field. He had a couple of timely hits last night as well. And Jaden Fisher, who came in and hit the ball on the nose and loaded the bases for that grand slam. And there is the guy that hit the inside the park home run, Hudson Williams. Boston Patterson on the mound for the Cats. He has another one, much like Arthur, only he comes from the right-hand side. He has got that slow curving changeup, and it freezes batters. We're getting ready for our national anthem, and we'll get this ball game underway. And with that, we'll get this ball game going here just pretty quick. It's been a pretty tiring week already for a couple of the Wildcats. Hudson Williams and Canton Smith were attending a business conference in Springfield. They went up and got the two of them, brought them to play last night, took them back. And they are here today after a tough couple of days ago, and we'll have Wednesday to be able to relax for just a little while, and then we will go to Ozark on Thursday night, and then we'll be right back here at home on Friday night. So there's still a great opportunity. You've got plenty of time to come on out here and watch these Wildcats, and certainly on Friday night we'd be excited to have you with us as well. Austin Patterson on the mound for the Cats. As I said, we've seen him pitched 3 times. He's actually pitched 4 times. He went 99 pitches deep and won while they were in the Tampa, Florida tournament down there, and he has pitched really well. He has not gotten 105 pitches yet, but he has gone into the 90s a couple of different times, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really has in that first ball game against Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that was on the mound for the Cats last night came in and finished the ball game off. Austin, big senior, is getting ready. We're going to get the ball thrown down to second base. There it goes, down to Williams, over to Fisher, from Fisher over to Nichols, Nichols to McInturf, and we're ready to get this ball game underway. We're going to start off with number 25. That is
Braden McBride.
No, that's not Braden McBride. It is Scott. 23, Luke Scott.
Uh-huh.
Boston settles in. He looks down. He gets the first call from Canton Smith, and there's the first one. And there's a ball hit right up over the top of the head for a base hit. So Scott starts things out with a base hit. And here's Connor Smith. So the first pitch, hitter from the left-hand side, hits the ball right up over the top of the jumping Hudson Williams into left field, and there's a runner on first. Second baseman Connor Smith is in there, and a quick throw back over to first base. Austin just letting Scott know that he is there and he's watching him. And he looks down, looks at second base. Here comes the next pitch, and there's a call strike right down the middle. And there is a hard hit ball right into center field, and that's going to be the second hit of the ball game, and with runner is stopping at second. So we've got 2 hits. Smith gets a base hit, and Scott gets a base hit. Here's the catcher, Brooks Eden. Steps in batting right-handed. Austin looks back, looks at second base, looks over at first. Here comes the first pitch. And it's a little bit outside for a ball. Here comes the next pitch, and that's right down the middle for call strike 1. The count's even at 1-1. We're just getting the ball game underway. We're in the top half of the first inning. And Kickapoo's got a couple of runners on base. They're yet to get an out for the Cats. Boston looks down at second base. Here comes the next pitch, And there's a ground ball right back to set.
Oh, my.
An error that hurts the Cats, and there's a run that's come in. Well, Scott scores, and on an error down to second base that gets out of the way, Boston turned around and threw it to Hudson Williams, but it was off the mark just a little bit. So the Chiefs have got 2 runners on. There's no out, and there is 1 score already. Not exactly the start that we wanted, is it, Matt?
No.
Patterson looks down. Here comes the first pitch, and that's low on the outside for a ball. Here comes the next pitch from Patterson. That's right down the middle for call strike 1. One and one's the count. Here comes the next one. Canton does a great job of trying to frame that, but the home plate umpire says nothing doing. That's a ball. Low. These uniforms that, and there's a ground ball that is hit to second and nobody at first base to make the play, and everybody is safe. There's a little bouncer that went, Lim thought that he was going to come off the bag, and we're going to call timeout. Coach is going to get things kind of straightened out a little bit. That was a mental error that is going to load up the bases.
He's definitely telling them what's what out there.
Yep, I believe he probably is. Dylan Smith is the third baseman, and he'll be the batter when we get ready to go. And I'm sure coaches, we have had a great hallmark of defense, and for some reason or other, we are not able to do that right now. But
now batting, number 8, Dylan Smith.
Just got to try to get everybody settled down a little bit.
Everybody goes back and back to their positions, and the runners on first, second, and third. Bases loaded for Dylan Smith, the third baseman. Here comes the first pitch, and swung on for strike 1. Patterson, being the mature pitcher that he is I'm sure he's wanting to settle himself down, and maybe he's just overworking just a little bit, but there's another one that's called strike. So now we're down. We're up on the count of no balls and 2 strikes. There's no outs, and the bases are still loaded. There's been 1 run come in. Here comes the next pitch from Patterson, and that's almost got away from Canton, but he was able to save it, and nobody was able to advance. A ball and 2 strikes. There's no outs. Boston Patterson on the mound, and here comes his next pitch, and that is swung on, and it's going to be called foul almost over into the Wildcats' dugout. Cats get a chance to get 3 outs here and come back in and rattle the bats, and all will still be good. Here comes Boston, steps off the rubber for just a minute. Canton wants to go out and talk with his pitcher for just a second or two to kind of calm him down. Infield is playing in just a little bit for the play at the plate. Strikeout right here would do the Cats a world of good. Joey Cullinger is going to be up next. He is the designated hitter. Boston looks down. He's got a couple of pitches to waste if he decides to do that. Here comes the next one, and that is a high fly ball that is fouled back, almost bounces over the fence into the soccer field. So the count remains the same, and we'll do it again. Boston looks down. Home plate umpire says a ball and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch underway. And a little bit inside. That evens the count at 2-2. McInturf almost in on the the green. I hate to call it grass, but the green of this infield. There's the next one, and there is a solid hit, and we tag out at first, and there's an overthrow, but we do get one out, and here comes another score. So we do get one out, and there are runners on first, second, and third. Here's the DH, Joey Kleinger. There's the first pitch, and there's a call, strike one. Cats are having more trouble. They've already had more errors in this inning than we've seen in some ball games. Boston looks down. He is doing his job by getting the ball in play. That one's outside for a ball. Leaving the count at 1-1. There's one out, and Kickapoo has already scored 2 in the top half of the first inning. Patterson looks over, and here comes the next pitch underway. That's a call strike. Patterson looks at second, looks over at third. Here comes the next pitch, and that's a little bit low, so that'll even the count at 2-2. Matt, the infield is playing back just a little bit. We've only got one out. I think maybe they would be in for a play at the plate. We'll see. Patterson steps off the rubber for just a minute, and he refocuses. Comes the next pitch, and that was just a little bit high, and that'll run the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Runners on second and third, and 1 out so far in the top half of the first inning. Boston takes a deep breath. Here comes his next pitch, and there is a ball that is hit to center field. Versluis has got it, and he's going to throw the ball in, and everybody stays put. Nice job. There we go. So there's the second out of the side. And here's Nick Lipari. Lipari plays center field. Boston needs to get this one, and the Cats need to get out of this without any more damage. Here comes the first pitch underway, and that's outside for a ball. Boston's not really pitching bad as much as it is that he's getting the ball put into play, but the defense is just not there right now for some reason. Here comes the next pitch, and there's a hard hit ball. Versluis is chasing it down. He's on his gun, and it gets over him, and Lipari is going to go on into third base and stand up. So one more run comes in. And the score is now 4-0. Lipari hit that ball, and we saw that happen a couple of times last night. Once he gets over the center fielder's head, then you can run, and he certainly showed he's got some speed. Here's Brody Wilson. Here's the first pitch, and it's thought maybe it was on the inside corner, but it was not. It's a ball. This is territory, Matt, the Cats have not been in. Down 4 runs before they even get to bat. There's a second pitch, and that one's outside for ball 2. Austin takes a deep breath. Here comes the pitch underway. And there's call strike one. Looked like Wilson wanted that. He just couldn't hardly pull the trigger that time. Here comes the next pitch. And that looked like it nibbled on the inside corner, but the home plate umpire said nothing doing. That's ball 3. 3-1's a count. There are 2 outs, and we're in the top half of the first inning. Austin takes a big deep breath. He deals, and there's a pop all the way back over here into the soccer field again. So we've got a full count now of 3-2. Runner on third base, and there's 2 outs. First baseman Brody Wilson is up to bat, and here comes the next pitch. Got him! Strike 3. So Boston finally gets his first strikeout. Maybe that'll right the ship just a little bit. But Kickapoo scores 4 on 2 hits. There were 3 errors, and there was 1 left on base. You're watching the Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. We will be right back after this.
I'm a Missouri Farm Bureau insurance agent. I'm for working hard for what you get and then protecting what you've got. Your home, your vehicles, your life. I'm for making an honest living and taking pride in what you do, and for giving back to the community I call home. I'm for serving my clients with the respect and dignity you would expect from the farmers that started this company. And though I know you probably hope you never need me, I'm here for you when you do. I'm a Missouri Farm Bureau insurance agent, and if you're a Missourian, I'm for you.
I am Josh Dotson with Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance Services. If you're in Missouri, I'm for you.
Singing is my career and my calling, but I'm also a mother of 4.
And as entrepreneurs, we weigh the cost of every decision.
Medical bills are no longer a worry for our family, so I can focus on my calling.
And our family.
Joining Christian Healthcare Ministries was one of the best decisions we ever made. We're the Blair family, and this is our CHM story.
Choose your doctor without network restrictions, all at an affordable price. Enroll anytime at chministries.org/enroll.
Fawcett Greenhouse at 898 Baxter Street in Neosho is a proud supporter of Neosho sports. Springtime brings growing season and baseball to the Neosho area, and Fawcett Greenhouse supports all Neosho spring sports and wants to wish all Wildcats good luck for a happy and safe season of competition. Fawcett Greenhouse can supply you with all your home landscaping and gardening needs. For more information, the number is 417-451-5369 or FawcettGreenhouse.com.
And welcome back to the Marion Family Conflicts. Coming to the plate in the Cats' half of the inning, down by 4 runs, is the speedster Finn Versluis. Matt, the Cats got to do something. They got to put the barrel on the ball, don't they?
That's right.
And here is a good way to get this started. Colin Muldoon, the left-hander, is what Coach Hauser thinks is one of the best pitchers in the area, and he throws from the left-hand side, and there's the first pitch. It's on the outside for a ball. Nichols, Smith, and McInturf up in this part of the inning, and we need them to be on. Here comes the next pitch. That one's high and outside. That's ball 2. Versluis turns around and looks back over at the coach, and he steps back in. He crowds the plate. Here comes the pitch, and there's ball 3. No, I believe you call that strike. That is 2 balls and a strike. I'm having trouble seeing the home plate umpire's motion, but there's 2 balls and a strike on Finn Versluis. There's the next one. That's on the inside, but it's a call strike. So that evens the count at 2-2. It's 2 times that Finn's caught one on the inside corner. He's going to have to choke up a little bit now and not swing quite as long. And there is a ball that is hit, and it is caught by the left fielder, Joey Hill.
Now batting, number 11, Jaden Nichols.
Here's number 11, Jaden Nichols. He is the third baseman, I'm sorry. And then it will be Canton Smith. That ball was hit, and Jackson is playing shortstop and right back on the grass, and there's a ground ball that's hit right to him. We'll see what he can do with that. He picks it up and he gets over, and there's the second out of the side. So 6-3, and Nichols is down just like that. Here's Canton Smith.
Now batting, number 34, Canton Smith.
Canton steps in. He adjusts his headgear just a little bit. And he fakes a bunt like he normally does. Now he will come back. Here comes a pitch, and it's a called strike on the inside corner. So far Muldoon is doing just about what we expected him to do, and he is nibbling away certainly at the inside corner. Here comes the next pitch. And that is a ball on the outside. That's going to even the count at 1-1. It's the first inning, and the Kickapoo Chiefs jumped out to a 4-run lead in their half of the inning. The Cats have got 2 outs in their half. Here comes the next pitch, swung on for strike 2. So catcher Canton Smith has 2 strikes. Should he get on Lim McInturf, the number 4 hitter for the Cats? Will be up. Canton steps in there. He knows what he's got to do to protect the plate, and he fouls that one back off and evens the count at a ball and 2 strikes. And steps back in. Muldoon pitches from the stretch, and Canton hits that ball, and it goes right to the shortstop. And makes the play. It was a bounce, but it was a nice play by the first baseman. So 6-3, third out, and after 1 complete inning of play, the Kickapoo Chiefs 4 and the Neosho Wildcats nothing. You're watching the Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. We'll be right back after this.
You've got to have someone that understands what you are doing as a mission. Community bankers are important that way because they understand the community relationships that we have to form to be successful.
I feel like First Community Bank and Myers Davis, our cultures are so similar. It is all about relationships.
It's a real boon to our community to have a bank like First Community to be supportive of so many things.
They're willing to take a chance on entrepreneurs, which is helpful to make the community grow.
People's Bank of Seneca, we care about your journey every step of the way. Since 1996, we've dedicated to providing excellent customer service across the 4-state area, ensuring that every experience is exceptional. Visit us in Joplin, Neosho, or Seneca. Learn more at peoplesbankofseneca.com. Member FDIC. Proud.
Welcome back to the Marion Family Complex. The Cats are down after 1 inning of play by a score of 4-0. For the Kickapoo Chiefs, it will be the third baseman, Jax Hill. And, well, I said the third baseman. We'll see what we've got. No, it's a shortstop, Jax Hill, wears number 5. And then it's the top of the batting order. Colin Muldoon is the lefty, was on the mound for the Cats. Really didn't give the Cats much to swing at that time, but I'm sure we will make the proper adjustments, and we'll come back out and we will start hitting the ball the way that we know that we can. Canton gets the ball, gets it down to Hudson Williams. Hudson gets it in, and we're ready to get this half the inning under play. Jax Hill, the shortstop, who had a couple of grounders to help retire the side in the first half of the inning, steps up. And there's the first pitch from Boston. It's high and outside for a ball. And it's the top of the batting order. It will be Luke Scott, who had a single, and Connor Smith, who had a single also. There's a ball outside. That's ball 2. And there is someone over in the Wildcat bullpen warming up a little bit, and there's a high pitch. So the count is 3-0 on Jax Hill. Boston speeding up his rotation just a little bit, and there's the first pitch, and that's in there for a call strike. Boston will do that. He will change what he does just a little bit, anything in order to try to get back to where he needs to be. And there is a hard hit ball, and he's safe. Certainly was safe. He slid into first base. Cats having trouble making the connection for the play. Boston was over there by the time Lim McInturf got the ball and got it over to him. The speedster Hill was sliding in head first.
Coach wants the other umpire to look at it.
Yeah, we'll look at it and see what he thinks. And there's an appeal, but he's still safe. So everybody's safe, and here we go. Here's the top of the batting order, Luke Scott. He had a single his first time up and came around and scored in that 4-run first inning. And he was a first pitch hitter the last time. We'll see if that happens again this time. Boston looks down, looks over at first base. Here comes the pitch underway, and that's exactly what he does, and that's hit all the way back. And that ball is
gone.
Home run.
Hope got a double.
Ground rule double. Okay. It bounced over, so there's a ground rule double. So now we've got runners on second and third. Bounced over the fence. Here is Connor Smith. He singled and came around to score in that first inning as well. And that gets another pitcher up in the bullpen for the Wildcats. Here comes Boston's first pitch. And that was high and outside for a ball. Boston looks back at second base, looks back, here comes a pitch down, and there's a ball that is fouled back, and it's go over into the soccer field. Good thing they're not playing soccer today, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah, so that evens the count at 1-1, runners on second and third, and there are no outs for the Kickapoo Chiefs. There's the next pitch, and that is a ball that is right down the first baseline, and he is going to be able to run and run and run. 2 runs have scored, and
that's 6-0.
That's 6-0. That's right. So Easton gets a double.
Coach is coming back out to the mound. Kilgore.
And here comes Coach Kilgore. We're going to take a timeout, and we're going to look things over with. This may be it for Boston. We'll see exactly what we're going to do. We may be going to give whoever's in the bullpen is still warming up some, give him a little bit extra time. That ball was hit and hit well by Easton, the catcher, and right down the first base line. Rodriguez was playing just almost over by the scoreboard, so by the time he got there, and McInturf is going to come in, it looks like. He changes, and Boston Patterson is out, so Lim McInturf is going to come in. And we'll see who goes to first base. We're going to take a timeout, and we'll get all this mess straightened out. You're watching the Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network, and we'll be right back after this.
At ProLube Tire and Auto Center, we know what it means to rely on your vehicle. We race all year and know how to get that extra inch out of every part. Precision, quality, and reliability are not just words to us. It's what we do every day. We know you rely on your vehicle to perform for your family. From oil changes to full-on repairs, ProLube gives you the best racetrack team experience so you can be worry-free.
ProLube Tire and Auto Center, where we get it right on the road and the track.
If you're a weekend warrior who likes to go, 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 don't let pain put the brakes on your pace. When you need help with an injury that keeps you from moving, you want an orthopedic team with a proven track record. Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is nationally recognized and were recently named CareCheck's #1 hospital in the market and top 10% hospital in the state for hip fracture repair. Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the experience you need to keep pace with life.
Happy Egg supports the family farmer because they've seen the difference a choice like this can make. Now you can grow for Happy Egg and choose to raise hens the right way, the happy way. When you grow for Happy Egg, you're growing for a family-owned and operated business. You're raising happy hens on 10+ acres who will lay happy eggs. You're working for yourself. As a Happy Egg grower, you'll receive new flock cost support and yield-based compensation. Visit happyegg.com/grower to apply today.
And welcome back. We are at the Marion Family Complex. Slim McInturf, the big first baseman, on in relief of Boston Patterson. It just was not his day. He didn't even make it through the second inning and had 41 pitches. McInturf steps in as the lead to the Chiefs is 6-0. Here is number 44. This is Easton. And there's the first pitch from McInturf, and it was low and outside. Comes the next pitch. Arthur, who was on the mound for the Cats yesterday, will come into the ballgame. He'll play first base. And the count is 2 balls and no strikes. McInturf looks over. Here comes his pitch, and that's swung on for strike one. So the big catcher Easton apparently just didn't want to wait, and he swung at one that was probably a little bit low and inside. McInturf looks over at second. Here comes his next pitch underway, and that is a hard hit ball. I believe, and it's going to go and continue to go, and that's going to bring in another run. And Easton is into second base. This Kickapoo team obviously wants to get going and get going fast. They are hitting the ball and hitting it well. Here's Nick Long, the right fielder. He bats in the 4 slot. This could be a long ball game for the Cats if we don't get this thing stopped right quick. There's the first pitch. It's in there for called strike one.
And you got to hook it up.
Yep, you got to get going. We've got to get some outs. McInturf looks down. Here comes his next pitch. And then swung on strike 2. So it's a little bit of a low curveball. That's the second time we've seen someone swing at a low inside pitch. So there must be a little bit of action on that ball. McInturf has a pretty high knee kick even when he comes off at the stretch like that. He looks over at second base. And here comes the pitch underway. And that was took something off of that one, but it did not cross the plate. So there's a ball and 2 strikes on Nick Long, the right fielder. McInturf looks down, looks back at second. There's another one, and that is a foul ball that is going to be out of play. Rodriguez is playing all the way over, still right there at the scoreboard. The ball is hit over Arthur's head down there at first base and gets into that corner. He could continue to run and run. A ball and 2 strikes, no outs, and we're in the top of the second inning. Here comes the next one, and there is a ball that is hit to. Nice play that time. That was hit to Nichols, so that was a 5-3, and there's the first out. He turned around and stared the runner at second base back, which is exactly what he should have done, so maybe that'll help to right the Cats. There's the first out. Here is Dylan Smith. That was not a hard hit ball to Nichols, and he was right there on third base. He just looked for a minute, and then one hopped it over to Arthur, and Arthur pulled it out. McInturf on in relief of Boston Patterson. Comes his first pitch, and there is a high fly ball. Fisher is underneath it. He makes the play, and there's the second out. So the Cats have got 2 outs now. And a runner still on second base. Here's Joey Kleinger. He flied out to center field his last time up. Cats need to right the ship right here. There's the first pitch, and that's swung on for strike 1. I'm not real sure exactly what McInturf's got, but that's a little bit of a curveball. That is the 3rd time we've seen someone. Maybe it's a little more of a sinker than we think, Matt.
Yeah.
But that is the 3rd time we've seen someone swing at a ball that's almost on the ground. Here comes the next pitch underway, and there is a solid hit, and Rodriguez is back, and he makes the play.
There we go.
So the Cats get out of the inning, but there's more damage scored, and the Chiefs now are up on the Cats by a score of 7-0. You're watching the Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. We'll be right back after this.
Sam Gorham and Aaron Mitchell are your specialty risk insurance agents for Neosho and the surrounding area. They've been involved in Neosho sports since their own high school days and know the importance of athletic competition and how it teaches students life lessons every day. For all your home, auto, life, farm, ranch, and crop insurance needs, call Sam Gorham today at 417-850-5116 or Aaron Mitchell at 417-483-8337. You can also learn more online at specialtyriskinsuranceagency.com. Go Wildcats!
Compton CPA Group PC, located at 112 Northwood in Neosho, is a full-service accounting firm and is proud to support the Neosho Wildcats. Compton CPA Group PC can assist you at every stage of your financial life and help you work toward your financial goals. From tax preparation to bookkeeping services, Compton CPA Group PC has you covered. For all your tax and business affairs, call 417-451-2932 or learn more at ComptonCPAGroup.com.
You've got to have someone that understands what you are doing as a mission. Community bankers are important that way because they understand the community relationships that we have to form to be successful.
I feel like First Community Bank and Myers Davis, our cultures are so similar. It is all about relationships.
It's a real boon to our community to have a bank like First Community to be supportive of so many things.
They're willing to take a chance on entrepreneurs, which is helpful to make the community grow.
Liam McInturf, who pitched 12 pitches in the second inning and got the side out, now has a chance to help himself out as he's a pitcher of record. He steps in. And here comes the first pitch from Muldoon, and McInturf hits it, and it goes right through the first baseline, and it is there. So he's on first with a base hit. Something the Cats needed, Matt.
Absolutely. This can help turn things around.
Here's Greg Jennings. That ball had eyes. It went right between the first baseman and the second baseman out into right field. Jennings is standing back for just a minute. Looks like they're trying to get maybe a pinch runner for McInturf. Yeah, we've called timeout, and we're going to get a pinch runner. And it looks like that pinch runner is number 10.
Blaine Patterson.
Blaine Patterson. We saw Blaine's speed
he does a good
several times yesterday.
He does a great job on these bases.
Yes, he does. So now it's Jennings, Crane, and Rodriguez. And Patterson steps off just a little bit. He's going to see what he can do to kind of try to get Muldoon's attention. And there's the first pitch, and it's high and outside for a ball. Steps off again. Wind has picked up just a little bit, not just a whole lot, and there's a pitch back, and he's safe. It was a close play, it certainly was. Muldoon's obviously got a pretty nice pickoff play. But Patterson sliding back in head first was there. And here comes the pitch. And that is a call strike. That's going to even the count at 1-1 on the sophomore left fielder, Drake Jennings. Here comes a pitch from Muldoon, and there is a solid hit right up the middle, and Patterson is going to hold up at second. So the Cats have got something going in the bottom half of the second inning as Jennings picks up a base hit as well. Now here is the DH, Brody Crane. I was watching Brody during batting practice a while ago. He was just pretty intense. Now he will be pitching on Thursday night against Ozark. He's concentrating on keeping his head in and seeing the ball all the way there. Patterson over on second base. And there's the first pitch. It's a call strike one. After Crane, it'll be Alex Rodriguez. Then it's Jaden Fisher and Hudson Williams. Should the Cats get there, and we certainly hope they do. 2 hits and no outs so far in the bottom of the second inning for the Cats. And there was a swung on. Foul ball, strike two. And the wind has picked up now a little bit, and it's blowing straight out to center field. Patterson over on second base, jumping up and down a little bit. Muldoon looks back, there's a pitch, and that is outside for a ball. Cats need to get something going. We are bottom half of the second inning, and they're down by 7. Patterson still jumping back and forth off, and there's a big hole between, and there's a ball on the inside. Low, ball 2. As long as Patterson's jumping back and forth, the second baseman is over there trying to hold him on, and that leaves a big hole between first and second. Muldoon looks back. Here comes a pitch, and there's another ball. And that'll run the count full.
Patterson's definitely doing his job out there.
He sure is. He certainly is. And Jennings over on first base is going to take full advantage of that. The first baseman's not even holding him on, and there's ball 4. So Brody Crane draws a walk, and that loads the bases.
There we go. This is what we needed right here, folks.
Now batting, number 9, Alex Rodriguez.
Here is Alex Rodriguez, the right fielder. He had a couple of hits in the ball game last night. A single would probably score 2 for the Cats and get us off the snide for sure. He looks over at his coach. Crane did a nice job of being patient that time and waiting. He had 2 strikes on him before he got 4 balls for a walk. Here comes the first pitch, and there's ball 1, low and inside. So that is 4 balls in a row that Muldoon has thrown in this inning. Comes the next pitch, and that is high, and it's going to be right back over here towards us, I believe. And no, the catcher's trying to catch it, and he makes the catch for the out. Well, I thought that was going to come all the way back over to us. So Rodriguez flies out to the catcher, out of bounds, and that is the first out. Here is Jaden Fisher. Jaden Fisher in that 5th inning last night had a single that helped get the bases loaded for the next guy to come up, and that is Hudson Williams. Muldoon kind of steps off. Here comes a pitch underway, and catcher Easton kind of fakes a throw down to third base. Brooks Easton. And he fouls that one back. That evens the count at 1-1. Cats got the bases loaded. It is the bottom half of the second inning, and there is one out. Everybody has gone back to their regular position on the infield. They're probably going to be playing double play depth, and there is a call strike on the inside corner. Took something off of that one, Matt.
Yeah.
And Fisher was not prepared for that, so it's best to do just exactly what he did rather than put it in play and get us into a double play. Here comes the next pitch, and there is a solid ball hit to first base, and he buffs it, and here comes one run in for the Cats. So Jaden Fisher does his job, hits the ball down to first base, and he gets on by E3, and the Cats are now in the good column. And the bases are still loaded. Here's Hudson Williams. Fisher put the ball in play, which was exactly what the Cats needed to do. They've had one, and now we are got the bases loaded with one out. There's a call strike on the inside corner. Williams stands in there, and there's another call on the inside corner, strike two. Be the top of the batting order, Finn Versluis, who flied out to the shortstop his first time up after this. Hudson wiggling his bat just a little bit. Here comes a pitch, and there is a solid ball that is hit, and it may drop, and it does.
Look at
and
that.
Here comes another run around for the Cats.
Yes, sir.
Well, there we go. There is a second run in, and the bases are still loaded. Hudson gets a base hit. Here's Finn. So the Cats have got two now. And there's only one out. Hudson over on first base will do his little dance over there just a little bit too. This is what the Cats do. This is the way they go about it. Get the bases loaded, and they do what they can to disrupt the pitcher. And that was a ball on the outside. Muldoon looks down. Here comes the next pitch. And there's a call, strike one inside. He likes to nibble at that inside corner, doesn't he?
Absolutely. And it's fast, too.
Yes, it is. Base hit for the Cats would be worth a whole bunch right now. Okay. And the shortstop thought that they had Fisher back at second base, but base umpire said no, he's still good. Jaden Nichols will be up next. He grounded out 6-3 his first time up. There's the next one, and that ball is inside. It'll make the count 2 balls and a strike. One out and the bases loaded for the Cats in the bottom half of the second inning. Well, one thing we've seen is Mr. Muldoon can be touched, haven't we, Matt?
Absolutely.
There's the next pitch, and they're swung on, strike two. Ben had designs on hitting that ball to right field, I believe. So he's going to have to choke up just a little bit and protect the plate now. Here comes the next pitch in, and that ball is hit high up in the air, and that's going to be one that maybe we're not real sure who's got it, and it falls in again. And there's going to be another run come in for the Cats. And that's the second can of corn that the Cats have taken advantage of between the second baseman and the right fielder. So Versluis is on, and we pick up our third run. And the bases are still loaded, and there is one out. Oh, no. I'm not sure how you can call it. Well, the home plate umpire is signaling that it's an infield fly rule and it's an out. So everybody will come back, I guess, and we'll have to see if the run stays. Yeah. So there is the second out to retire the side. That ball was hit into the outfield. It was not in the infield under any circumstances. After Keith Kilgore goes over, the home plate umpire is very firm about that. So here's Jaden Nichols, and he breaks the plane for strike one. Well, that is the second blooper. The first one was hit exactly in the same place as the second one was. There's strike two. And Cats get a bad break there, but that is the second out in the inning, but the run still does count, so we'll pick up that run. And Jaden Nichols steps out, he steps back in. No balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the third pitch, and he got him, call strike 3. But the Cats get off the snide. They score 3, and after 2 innings of play, the score is 7 for the Kickapoo Chiefs to 3 for your Neosho Wildcats. We are going to come back in just a few minutes. You're watching the Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Sam O'Neill with Portable Propane of Neosho. From setting tanks to refilling them, we offer a full spectrum of service to meet your every need. We serve Neosho and surrounding areas, and we are committed to giving you better service at better prices. Give us a call today, 417-437-8927. Thank you.
Happy Egg supports the family farmer because they've seen the difference a choice like this can make. Now you can grow for Happy Egg and choose to raise hens the right way, the happy way. When you grow for Happy Egg, you're growing for a family-owned and operated business. You're raising happy hens on 10+ acres who will lay happy eggs. You're working for yourself. As a Happy Egg grower, you'll receive new flock cost support and yield-based compensation. Visit happyegg.com/grower to apply today.
Welcome back. It is the top half of the third inning. We're still trying to get this deal taken care of between us, but the Cats did pick up 3 runs, so McInturf on the mound in relief of Boston Patterson. And we're going to be ready to go here in just a minute. As we said, you're watching the Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO and the Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. This is the top half of the third inning. Matt, there's already been 10 runs scored in this ball game. Yeah. I can't imagine what the rest of it is going to be like. Here is Nick Lipari. He is the one that hit the triple the last time up. And McInturf looks over at third base, takes a big deep breath. Here comes the first pitch, and that's popped up. And we've got 3 people going after it. Hudson Williams makes the play for the first out. So there's a fly out, 6-1. That's a good sign for the Cats. It's the first time they've gotten the first out without there being people on base. Here is Brody Wilson. He's a big first baseman. He steps in there. Cats need a 3 up, 3 down. That would make a huge difference in just our momentum. There's the first pitch, and that ball is going to be hit. And it is going to go over into the bullpen for Kickapoo, or strike 1. People are continuing to come in. It's a beautiful, beautiful day, and the wind is jumping up and down, but it's pretty calm right now. Here comes the next pitch from McInturf, and that hit him. So Brody Wilson goes on to first by the hit pitch. And here's Jax Hill, the shortstop.
Now batting, number 5, Jax Hill.
There's a runner on first base. 1 out, and there's the first pitch, and there's another popper. That's popping up. We've got people going out. Rodriguez is running, and he misses. gets in the wind, and runners advance all the way around to second and third base. That wind out there must be something, but
I think it bounced off his head, to be honest with you. He must have lost it to the sun somewhat.
Whatever the case may be, there's one out and runners on second and third. Here's the top of the batting order. Luke Scott, he's had a single and a double. He had a ground rule double his last time up. McInturf on in relief of Boston Patterson. Looks down. Here comes the first pitch underway, and it's a little bit outside for a ball. Buddy Wilson over there on third base is taking a pretty good lead off of third base. Here comes a pitch from McInturf, and that's a little bit low and inside. Ball 2. Rodriguez is playing almost back on the warning track in right field. Finn Versluis is still shaded just a little bit over towards the left field side, and there's another ball. So that's 3 balls and no strikes on the leadoff hitter, Luke Scott. Plays left field for the Chiefs. McInturf looks over at third. Here comes the first pitch in, and there's called strike 1. Next pitch underway, and that's ball 4. Well, the Chiefs picked up 3 in the second inning, and the Cats answered with 3, so the deficit really right now is that 4-run first inning when the Cats were not able to score. Here's Connor Smith. He has been on and scored twice. He had a base hit, and then he was hit by a pitch. Cats are looking for the double play ball, and there's the first pitch, and that's in there for a called strike. That was a little lazy old curveball that just jumped right in the middle, didn't it?
Absolutely.
It's a nice pitch that time. McInturf looks things over. Here comes the next pitch underway, and it's called strike 2. Yeah, I wasn't sure what the home plate umpire was doing there at first, but then he made the calls. Okay, it was a foul ball. That's what it was. It was a foul ball. Apparently that got in close enough and tipped off of the neck of the bat for strike 2. Let's see if we can make good on this happenstance for the Wildcats right here. Here comes McInturf's next pitch, and there is a high ball for Versluis under it at center field. He makes the play, and it's going to make the throw in, and it's cut off by Arthur. But 1 run does score. But there's 2 outs. And everybody else is safe, so now we've got runners on first and second. And here's the catcher, Brooks Keaton. McInturf looks down, looks over at second base. Here comes the first pitch, and that's in there for call strike 1. It's just right at the knees and curved right across home plate.
He seems to be calling him a little low today, so.
Yeah, he does, and so we take advantage of that, that's for sure. Here comes the next pitch. That one's a little bit high and outside. I've never said an umpire always had to be right. He just had to be consistent.
Yeah.
And that's certainly what's happening today. McInturf's not even there. He looks back at second base. Here comes the next pitch underway, and that's swung on for foul ball, strike 2. Easton got on base by way of an error in the first inning, and then he had a double in the second. There's the third pitch underway, and there is a high foul ball that is going to be out of play. So we'll come back and do it again. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the catcher, Easton. There's 2 outs. We're in the top half of the 3rd inning. Scores 8-3 in favor of Kickapoo. Here comes the next pitch. Got him! Strike 3. What a way to end that inning. 3rd out, but they did score 1 run and 1 run early. That slowed it down a little bit. At the end of 2.5 innings of play, the score is 8-3 in favor of Kickapoo. We'll be right back after this. You're watching the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network.
Southwest Missouri Bank in Neosho serves the Neosho area from 2 locations. They offer business banking services including checking and savings accounts, business loans, and electronic banking. Learn more online at smbonline.com. Southwest Missouri Bank, a proud sponsor of community broadcasting on KNEO, equal housing lender, member FDIC, where their slogan is Southwest Missouri Bank, we can do that.
The Neosho Area Chamber of Commerce invites you to download the new Experience Neosho app, available for free on the Apple and Google Play Store. Your guide to eat, shop, play, and stay in Neosho, and your direct link to KNEO Wildcat Sports. Download the app, register to win weekly prizes, and listen to your favorite Wildcat sports. Good luck, Wildcats! We can't wait to hear you ring that bell.
If you're a weekend warrior who likes to go, 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 don't let pain put the brakes on your pace. When you need help with an injury that keeps you from moving, you want an orthopedic team with a proven track record. Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is nationally recognized, and were recently named CareCheck's #1 hospital in the market and top 10% hospital in the state for hip fracture repair. Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the experience you need to keep pace with life.
And welcome back to Roy B. Schaefer Stadium in Neosho, Missouri. Wildcats taking on the Chiefs from Kickapoo. Kickapoo picked up 1 last inning. Let's see if the Cats can answer again. We'll start off with senior catcher Canton Smith. Canton's had several opportunities. This is his senior year to certainly be offered to go play baseball elsewhere. He's taken 2 or 3 trips, so we'll see if he commits here one of these days. There's the first pitch, and it is swung on, and that is fouled, and it is going to be out of play for strike 1. Canton grounded 6-3 his first time up in the first inning. Cats got going the last inning with a couple of singles to start off with, and then they came around and scored 3 times. There's another pitch that is low and inside for a ball. That evens the count at 1-1. McInturf, Jennings, and Crane up in this half inning for the Cats. Colin Muldoon on the mound, and there is a hard hit ball that goes over to third base. He's up and over to first, and that's the first out. So 5-3, and there is 1 out. McInturf hit a single right in between first and second base, a grounder the whole way, got into right field his last time up and came around to score. There's the first pitch from Muldoon, and it was inside for a ball. And the crowd's still continuing to come in. A good crowd showing for the Cats today. There's the next pitch, and McInturf swung on and fouled that one all the way back. That'll even the count at 1-1. Greg Jennings is up next. He had a single in the last inning. Both he and McInturf came around to score. And there is a solid hit to the shortstop, and he is up and got it over for the play. So 6-3 to Jax Hill, and there is the second out. Here's Greg Jennings. Muldoon just seems to be rocking right along. He had a little bit of a hiccup in the last inning, and the Cats made him pay for it. Let's see if we can't get that same thing to happen again. There's the first pitch, and that's a call, strike one. Took a little something off of that one. I believe it's a little bit of almost looked like a screwball. Take some deep breath. Here comes the second pitch. There's call, strike two. Both of those were on the outside corner.
Looks like the same pitch.
It did, didn't it? Brody Crane will be up next. There's the third pitch, and that was high and outside. Jennings laid off of that one. Muldoon stretches. Here comes the next pitch, and that ball was hit right back up here to us for a foul ball. And we'll do it again. The ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom half of the third inning. There'll be a JV ball game after this one. Freshmen on Wednesday, I believe, go to Springfield to play the Kickapoo. Not freshmen, it's actually the C team. It's made up of freshmen and sophomores. Muldoon settles in. He looks down. Here comes the pitch. And there's another foul right back over here. So one thing about it, Jennings is having a good at bat, and I'm not sure how many pitches Muldoon's had up to this point, but Jennings is getting his fair share. Here comes the next one from Colin Muldoon, and that was called strike 3. Got him. So the Cats go down. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on third base. At the end of 3 innings, the score is the Neosho Wildcats 3, the Kickapoo Chiefs 8. We'll be right back after this. You're watching the Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network.
At Calvary Neosho, we aren't your grandmother's church, because she lives in Akron, Ohio, and that would be a terribly long commute for church. But if she did live in Neosho, we at Calvary would be delighted to have her come visit us. And since you live here, we would definitely like you to come visit us. Then, when your Nana comes to visit for Christmas, you can bring her to church and introduce us to her. We're sure she is a delightful lady. You can find us at Facebook/Calvary of Neosho, or join us in person at 3650 Oak Ridge Extension. We gather for worship Sundays at 10:30 a.m. Calvary Neosho. Not your grandma's church, but we'd sure like to meet her.
Locally owned, operated, and here for you. Check out the new face of the Neosho Daily News, covering Newton County, highlighting area residents, businesses, school news, sports, and more. Find us on Facebook at Neosho Daily News or call 417-451-1520. Go get 'em, Wildcats!
Crowder College, your future, our focus. At Crowder College, we have 6 convenient locations in Southwest Missouri and online programs to fit your needs. Flexible scheduling provides a pathway to a career or the opportunity to transfer to a 4-year university in a variety of programs. Cheer for the Rough Riders at athletic events. Use the Missouri A+ Scholarship Program for free tuition and common fees. At Crowder College, your future is our focus. Apply today at crowder.edu.
And the number 4 hitter, Nick Long, will be at bat in the top half of the 4th inning. We're at Roy B. Schaefer Stadium, and the Cats are down by a score of 3-8 over the Kickapoo Chiefs. There's the first pitch from Lim McInturf in relief of Boston Patterson, and it's on the inside corner for call strike 1. McInturf looks down, looks over the third base just a little bit. Here comes the next pitch. And that was just a little bit low for a ball. Jaden Nichols playing just a step back from third base, and Hudson Williams is almost back on the green part. I hate to call it outfield, but that's kind of what it is. And there is a swung on, a little bit of a squibber that he's going to get over to first base. Nice job by McInturf to make the out. Thought he was going to get on, but McInturf jumped off and made the play.
I'm telling you.
1-3, and there is the first out. Here's Dylan Smith. Smith came around and scored in the first inning, and then he flied out in the second inning. There's the first pitch. And that is a ball high. Cats had 3-4 unfortunate errors in the first inning, but seem to have settled down considerably since then. Here comes the next pitch, and that's low and inside for a ball. So the count on Smith, the third baseman, is 2 balls and no strikes, 1 out in the top half of the fourth. Here comes the next pitch, and that's ball 3. Rodriguez is deep over in right field, and Versluis is pretty deep also. There's ball 4. And a runner on first base. Here is the designated hitter, Joey Kleininger. Kleininger has flied out to center field, and then he has flied out to right field. McIntyre steps off the mound. Dylan Smith was out there just a little bit too far for his taste, I think, that time at first base. Comes the first pitch, and he's running, and there's the throw to Hudson Williams, and he, oh my goodness, thought he got him because he got off the bag. It was a good throw that time by Smith, but what a great jump that the other Smith had, and he's on second base with a stolen base. So Dylan Smith runs to second base. It tried to be thrown out by Kenton Smith. And it was a good throw, but the leadoff he had was just more than we could recover. And there is a ball to Kleininger, the DH. There's the next one. That is took a little something off of that off-speed curveball, and that's ball 2. Look back over at second base. Here comes McIntyre's next one. That's swung on, foul ball, strike 1. Looks over at third base and shakes his head a little bit. Kleininger does to his coach. And McIntyre looks back. Here comes the pitch, and that one's going to be fouled off out of play over on the right-hand side, and that leaving the count at 1-1. McIntyre on in relief of Boston Patterson. Here comes the next pitch, and that slow-hanging curveball just did not make it for ball 3. So we've got a full count. It'll be Lipari up next, who flied out to Hudson Williams the last time up, and there's the next one, and that's a walk. We've got runners on first and second. Lipari also hit a triple his first time up, and Coach Kilgore wants to think about this for just a minute, so he's going to call timeout and talk. And he's giving the ball up, and McIntyre comes off, and it looks like we'll see who it's going to be. We're trying to figure it out. Looks like Hudson Williams is going to come in and pitch. We'll see who goes to shortstop. McIntyre came out, got another glove, but here is Boston Patterson coming out, and well, no, I guess maybe let's take time out and let's clean this mess up, and we'll figure it out. You're watching the Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Every team knows that the two-point play can be a winning move. State Farm agent Eric Norris and his team are here to help you go for two by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call and saves you time and money. So go for the win and score big savings by combining your home and auto. It's just another way to help life go right. Call State Farm agent Eric Norris at 417-451-6666 for more information. And go Wildcats!
Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Joe Ringstaff, your Neosho Edward Jones financial advisor, understands this. That's why Joe Ringstaff is a proud sponsor of the Neosho Wildcats on KNEO. For all your investment needs, call 417-451-7...
Welcome back. We've got it all figured out. Now we're at the Roby Schaefer Stadium. Hudson Williams, shortstop, comes in to pitch. McInturf will go back to first base, and Boston Patterson, who started this thing on the mound for the Cats, will go in at shortstop. There is one out, and there's runners on first and second. Here's Nick Lipari, the center fielder, who had a triple his first time up, and then he flied out to the shortstop his second time. Williams looks over at third base, and he steps off the mound. He says, "No, I'm not going to play that game with you." McInturf back over at first base is standing just inside on the green grass, and there's a first pitch. And that was a ball. Now Hudson Williams wants to say something to Canton Smith. I'm not real sure exactly what he's doing, but we want to make sure they've got their signals right. Okay, looks like we're ready to start again. Williams looks down, looks down at Canton Smith, looks over at second base. Here comes the next pitch, and that was strike one, swung on. So that evens the count at 1-1 on Lipari. There is one out. It is the top half of the fourth inning. Runners on first and second. Here comes the next pitch, and that was high and inside for a ball. Wind's picked up just a little bit. Now it is blowing more from right field over to left field. Maybe up to that 14, 15 mile an hour, Matt, that you were thinking about earlier.
Yeah.
Here comes the third pitch from Hudson, and that's on outside corner, but it is not. It's too far outside, ball three. Cats don't have anybody up in the bullpen right now. Here's the next pitch, and there's ball four. So the bases are walked loaded. There's been one out in this inning and 3 walks. And here is Brody Wilson, who was hit by a pitch and came around and scored in the last inning. Comes the first pitch from Williams, and there's called strike one. Williams in relief of Liam McInturf, in relief of Boston Patterson. And that's kind of the way it's been for the Cats tonight, Matt.
Yeah.
It's certainly not the outing we expected, but we've got a chance to get out of this inning, and all will be well. There's a ball low. That evens the count at 1-1. Probably the next pitcher that the Cats would bring in would be Alex Rodriguez out in right field. There's a fastball outside for ball 2.
McInturf had a total of 42 pitches.
McInturf had 42 pitches, a bunch of pitches that the Wildcats have used so far tonight. Here comes the next pitch from Hudson, and that the outside corner, but too far outside and low for ball 3. Counts 3-1. Certainly don't want to be in a place that we walk in a run, which certainly there's 1 out, but we've had 3 walks to walk the bases loaded. Here comes the next pitch from Wilson. There's call strike 2. Now Wilson thought that was a ball, but the home plate umpire said, "Whoa, wait a minute, let's come back and do this again." Cats basically played that ball bounced, and here comes a run in. That brings up the shortstop, Jax Hill. He has had a single and came around and scored, and he got on by way of an error. There's the first pitch. It's high for a ball. Cats have not been in a position like this yet this year. And being a week that there's going to be 4 ball games, and we'll be very, very careful about pitchers. Here comes the next pitch from Wilson, and that's going to get away from the catcher, and another run's going to score. And the runners move up to third and second. Hudson Williams is going to bring the infield in for just a minute and talk about that for just a minute. There's not a coach out there, but senior catcher Canton Smith wants to talk to everybody, make sure they all understand what we've got to do. Well, it is 6 o'clock. This ball game started at 4:30, and we are still in the 4th inning. Top half of the 4th inning. Hudson Williams on the mound for the Cats. He's got 2 balls. Here comes the next one, swung on for strike 1. Jaden Fisher starting to play in just a little bit from second base. In fact, he starts coming in, and he's almost on the grass. And there's another pitch. It's high and outside for ball 3. Well, first base is open, so we wouldn't get a run that way. The score is now 10-3 in favor of Kickapoo. There's Hudson Williams' next pitch, and there is a shot up over a shortstop, and there comes 1 run in. And held up right there. So Hill gets a base hit and brings in a run. That makes the score 11-3. Here's Luke Scott. Luke Scott has been on 3 times. He had a single and came around and scored. He hit a double and ground rule double and came around and scored. And then he had a base on balls in the 3rd inning. Hudson Williams looks over at first base. And he shakes his head yes, and there's the first pitch. It's outside for a ball. Just doesn't seem like it's a Cat's night, Matt.
Yep.
There will be nights like this. Hudson talking to himself, throws the ball back over to first base. McInturf is there, doesn't even try to make a tag. I think more than anything else, he was going to be alert to the runner trying to come into home. Double play ball right here, and the Cats would get out of the inning. Here comes the first pitch, and there's a foul ball. That'll leave him the count at 1-1. Rodriguez back almost on the warning track, and rightfully so, as Scott hit a ground rule double here not too long ago. There's the next pitch, and that is a call strike on the outside corner. So now the count is 1-2. On Luke Scott. Williams gets ready. He looks down. He deals, and here it comes, and there's a swung on foul ball, and we'll do it again. Well, the Cats are off tomorrow, but then we go to Ozark on Thursday night, and then we'll be right back here to take on the Pea Ridge Runners. Here comes the next pitch, and there is a high fly ball for Sluice giving it chase. He makes the catch, but there's a tag up at third base, and one more run will score. But there's 2 outs. That ball did its job. It was far enough away that it brought in the runner from third base. So there's 2 outs. And there's been 4 runs scored in this half of the inning, and the score is 12-3. There's the first pitch, and there's a run. They're going to try to gun him down, and the throw was just off mark just a little bit. And Jax goes into second base with a stolen base. This is the 8th batter of the inning for Kickapoo. Williams looks back. Here comes the pitch, and that's high for a ball. Makes the counts 2 balls and a strike. 2 outs. We need this one bad. And we need to come back and rattle the bats.
Absolutely.
Rattle them a lot. Here comes the next pitch underway, and boy, that's ball 3. So the count's 3-0 on Connor Smith, the second baseman. Williams looks back at second. There's the next pitch, and there's call strike 1. Williams looks back at second. Here's the next pitch, and it's a ground ball hit to Boston Patterson over to first base, and that retires the side. So a 6-3 third out, but the damage was done. They scored another 4, and at the end of 3.5 innings of play, it is the Kickapoo Chiefs 12 and the Neosho Wildcats 3. You're watching the Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Family Market, located at 201 North Neosho Boulevard, is your friendly hometown grocery store with delicious deli and the best selection of fresh meats and beautiful produce. Family Market can also take care of all your catering needs. Whether your upcoming event is big or small, Family Market can handle it all. Call 451-0057. That's 451-0057. Check out the Family Market Facebook page for weekly specials. Go Wildcats from Family Market of Neosho.
I'm a Missouri Farm Bureau insurance agent. I'm for working hard for what you get and then protecting what you've got. Your home, your vehicles, your life. I'm for making an honest living and taking pride in what you do, and for giving back to the community I call home. I'm for serving my clients with the respect and dignity you would expect from the farmers that started this company. And though I know you probably hope you never need me, I'm here for you when you do. I'm a Missouri Farm Bureau insurance agent, and if you're a Missourian, I'm for you.
I am Josh Dotson with Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance Services. If you're in Missouri, I'm for you.
Welcome back. It is the bottom half of the 4th inning, and the Cats come up. It'll start out with Brody Crane. Cullen Muldoon on the mound for Kickapoo, and by our count, he has thrown 99 pitches so far, but we don't see anybody in their bullpen. Now we know that they've got 3 other seniors that can pitch as well. Brody Crane took a free pass the last time he got up with base on balls. There's the first pitch from Muldoon, and that swung on over to the third baseman, a high bouncer, and it's over to first base for the out. 5-3 and 1 out just like that in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Here is Alex Rodriguez, the right fielder. Rodriguez steps in there and he waves the bat just a little bit. Here comes the first pitch, and that's inside for a ball. After Rodriguez, it'll be Fisher and Williams, and it's the top of the batting order. And that swung on. Got the inside of him. He's going to stop for just a minute and maybe go after the ball, but Hudson Williams beats him to it. And Rodriguez looks around, kind of collecting himself. I think that was probably, as we said, it jammed him on the inside corner, and he just fouled it off. Counts even at 1-1. 1 out in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Here comes the next from Muldoon, and that one swung on and fouled off. That makes the count 2-1. Or 1-2, excuse me. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Colin Muldoon is in his 4th inning of pitching, and there's swung on, and Rodriguez strikes out. So there's the second out of the side, and here's Jaden Fisher.
Now batting, number 2, Jaden Fisher.
Fisher steps in. He got on by way of an error and was stranded at third base. And there's the first pitch for call strike 1. Two-out rally here for the Cats. That's exactly what we need. There's the next pitch, and it hits him. Well, it does not hit him, and jumped over it for ball.
It was close, though.
Yeah. That evens the count at 1-1. Well, he tried to hold up on that, but I believe his bat broke the plane of the plate, and that was strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes. And here comes the next pitch. It was inside. That'll even the count at 2-2. Colin Muldoon on the got him swinging strike 3, so he had 2 strikeouts in that inning, and he's just moving right along. At the end of 4, the Cats are down by a score of 12-3. You're watching the Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, I'm Sam O'Neill with Affordable Propane of Neosho. From setting tanks to refilling them, we offer a full spectrum of service to meet your every need. We serve Neosho and surrounding areas, and we are committed to giving you better service at better prices. Give us a call today, 417-437-8927. Thank you.
The Neosho R5 School District is committed to shaping the future, one student at a time. From academics to athletics, we empower our students to reach their full potential, installing values of hard work, teamwork, and integrity. We would like to thank you for tuning in to the broadcast today and cheering on our Wildcats. Our dedicated teachers, staff, and coaches work hand in hand to provide a well-rounded education that prepares students for success. Together, we're building a brighter tomorrow for our community. The Neosho R5 School District, where excellence thrives.
Welcome back. It is the top half of the 5th inning, and the Cats are going to have to do something pretty special. Right here, we've got to hold them because we are dangerously close to being run ruled. The score is 12-3, so the Cats have got their work cut out for them. Hudson Williams on the mound in relief of Liam McInturf, in relief of Boston Patterson, Patterson's now back in the ball game playing shortstop for the Cats. Arthur was in for a period of time at first base, but being one of our pitchers, we don't want to get too much going. Ball's hit on the ground to Fisher over, and there's the first out. So Easton grounds out, 4-2-3 for the first out to retire the side. And here's Nick Long, the right fielder. Long had a base hit, came around and scored in the first inning. Since then, he has grounded out 5-3 and 1-3. And there's the first pitch from Williams, and it is a strike. Williams steps in, he goes from the windup, and there's the next one. That's going to be a ground ball to Jaden Nichols over to first base for the play, and just like that, there's 2 outs. That's the kind of inning the Cats need, Matt.
Yep.
In order to get things going. So that brings up Dylan Smith, the third baseman. So there's 2 outs, and here comes a pitch from Williams, and it's high for a ball. Nobody working in the Cats bullpen, so looks like we're going to stay with what we've got, and there is a foul back. That evens the count at 1-1. Rodriguez is in just a little bit in right field. Versluis is dead away in center field. And the infield now is Nichols, Patterson, Fisher, and McInturf. There's a ball. It got away from him just a little bit, and the battery now is Hudson Williams on the mound and Caden Smith catching. There's another one. That's a hard hit ball, and that's going to come down. And, Jennings gets it up and gets it in, but Dylan Smith is on first base with a single. Here's Joey Cloninger. He is the designated hitter. He is flied out to center field. He is flied out to right field, and he bunted and came on around and scored in the last inning. Williams snap throw back to first base, but runner back in Smith and back in plenty of time. Here comes Hudson's pitch. That's a fastball on the outside corner, ball 1. Maybe just a little bit low. Williams is looking over. And he makes a snap throw back over, and that one was a little bit closer, but Smith got back in time. Hudson steps off the mound for just a minute. He wants to think this whole thing over just for a second or two. He looks down at Canton Smith, making sure. I'm not sure that they've got the real connection between pitches, and there's a throw down to second base, and it got away, and the runner is gonna. Well, now we've had a little bit of a switch there. Now Patterson is at third base, and Jaden Nichols is at shortstop. And that ball was just a little errant, and it got away. There's a call strike. They just about had Smith right there in no man's land, and And then an errant throw, and there's a swung on strike 2. So Cloninger, who has flied out twice, walked and came around and scored, has a count even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. There's the next pitch from Hudson, and it's high for a ball. So that runs the count full. Hudson shakes off that call, whatever it was, from Smith, and here comes the next pitch, and it's a ball. So Cloninger gets on for the second time, and here is Nick Lapari. Lapari walked, and he came around and scored in the 4th inning. He had a triple his first time up way back in the 1st inning, and then he flied out to the shortstop. There's the first pitch, and that is swung on, and Alex Rodriguez giving chase, and he makes the catch. So the Cats, there was no damage scored that time. There was a base hit and a walk, but the score remains 12-3 in favor of Kickapoo. We're going to take time out and be back with the bottom half of the 5th inning. You're watching the Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network.
We all have those days where we don't want to get up. But when we have true discipline and choose to rise up, we become the best version of ourselves. To start your journey today, visit risefitnesscenter.com.
Today's Wildcat game is brought to you by Edgewood Bowling Center of Neosho, Missouri. Located at 2811 Gardner Edgewood Drive, they now have new synthetic lanes for adult and children bowling leagues and a smoke-free environment. They also have a certified pro shop and hosting for private parties. They offer Cosmic Glow Bowling on Fridays and Saturdays after 8 p.m. To learn more about Edgewood Bowling Center and their leagues for adults and children, the phone number is 417-451-4505.
Welcome back to Neosho, the Marion Family Sports Complex. We're at the Roy B. Shaver Stadium. It is the bottom half of the 5th inning, and the Cats are down by a score of 12-3. First time they've been in this position all year long, but here's Hudson Williams, who now is on the mound in relief of Lim McInturf, who is in relief of Boston Patterson. So Williams has an opportunity to help himself out right here. There's the first pitch, and swung on for foul ball, strike 1. Interviewing Hudson last night and talking to him about, he said he's not happy with the way he's been hitting the ball, and of course he hit that inside the park grand slam, and he swung hard at that first pitch. Here's the second pitch, and that is a off-speed pitch, but it's high for a ball. After Hudson will be the top of the batting order, which is Finn Versluis and Jaden Nichols. There's the next pitch, and that is outside for a ball. Hudson has some wheels. We saw that last night with that inside the park home run. So if he gets on base, there's no telling what's liable to happen. He held up on that one. It was high for ball 3. So the count now is 3 balls and a strike from Cullen Muldoon, who's on the mound for the Chiefs. And there's ball 4. So the Cats have a base runner. And Hudson Williams over on first base. Here's Finn Versluis, the center fielder for the Cats. He has flied out. He has gotten a base hit and was stranded at first base. He steps in there and he rears back, and we're getting ready for Muldoon's first pitch, and here it comes, and now he throws it over to first base. Hudson's back in plenty of time. Beautiful, beautiful evening for baseball. There'll be a JV ball game after this one. Williams off at first, and there's a pitch that's on the inside corner for strike 1. Chris Lou stands in there, waves that bat just a little bit, and they throw the ball back over to first base again. Hudson Williams doing exactly what you were talking about earlier, Matt. We get base runners on, and it kind of disrupts Mr. Muldoon, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
So good opportunity for the Cats, bottom half of the fifth inning, and we've got the first runner on base. And there is a hard hit ball into center field. Center fielder is chasing it back, and he makes the play in dead center field. And Williams has to go back. So that was just a long out, but that was probably the best hit that has come from Muldoon's offering so far. Here's Jaden Nichols. He struck out his last time up. He grounded out 6-3 before that. He now is playing shortstop. And there's a ground ball that goes right back to first base. And Nichols is not going to allow that to happen because of his speed, but they do get the runner, Hudson Williams, in a 1-2-6. And that is the second out. And Nichols is on first base by way of a fielder's choice. Here's Canton Smith, catcher. Canton looking things over. He sees where there's a pretty good opening in right center field, and he fakes the bunt like he does that very first time. He pulls it back and fouls it back into the soccer field for strike one. Canton steps back in there, takes 2 or 3 swings, and he's ready to go. Here comes Cullen Muldoon's next pitch, and Canton fouls that one back for strike 2. So Canton's got a piece of the last 2 that that Muldoon has thrown. See if he throws him an off-speed pitch here, Matt. Jaden Nichols over on first base, and yeah, that was an off-speed pitch, and he almost bit for it, but he did not, so it was ball 1. Waves that bat around. Now would be a really good time for one of those either doubles or triples like he had last night.
Absolutely.
Here comes the pitch, and he's got him strike 3. So the Cats go down, not in order, but they still go down. No, it's strike 2, I'm sorry. Well, now wait a minute, he's fouled 2 of them off. And I believe he's going to get a get a free shot. We'll go ahead and take that. Yeah, the home plate umpire saying, wait a minute. But he did. Canton has fouled 2 of them off, and he swung onto that one. I guess it was a foul ball, maybe. Here comes the next pitch, and it was... Well, that was a strikeout, and catcher dropped the ball, but we still got the 3rd out. So the Cats go down. They don't score anything. After the 5th inning, no score at all in that 5th inning. That's the first time that's happened in the ball game. The score is 12-3 in favor of the Chiefs from Kickapoo. You're watching Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. We'll be right back after this.
KNEO would like to thank the Big Nickel for sponsoring this portion of broadcasting on 91.7 FM. The Big Nickel is an advertising shopper for thousands of different items, from automobiles and livestock to help wanted and real estate. It covers a 70-mile radius in the 4-state area and is available in area businesses each week. Located at 1931 East 20th Street, Suite 103 in Joplin, Missouri. Their telephone number is 417-624-4100.
Insurance Benefits Consultants now has 2 locations to serve you. They're located at 1009 South Neosho Boulevard in Neosho and at 701 Northwest McNelly Road in Bentonville, Arkansas. They are proud supporters of the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. They provide Medicare and Medicaid supplemental policies, as well as life, health, and group health insurance plans from companies like Allstate and Colonial. For more information, call 417-451-4244 or in Arkansas, 479-431-5226.
All right, we are back at the Marion Family Complex. Finn Versluis is going to come in relief. He's been playing in center field. It looks like that Nichols goes over to second base, and Jaden Fisher is going to go to left field, and I believe that out in center field is Jennings. So we're just moving people around all over the place trying to find something that'll work. It's the 6th inning. The Cats are down by a score of 12-3. And in danger of being run ruled here in the top half of the 6th inning. And the batter is going to be Wilson. Then it'll be Hill, and it's the top of the batting order. Wilson got a base on balls and came around and scored his last time up. He was hit by a pitch the inning before and came around and scored. Here's Finn Versluis's first pitch, and that is outside for a ball. And he's showing his speed from the very beginning. Here comes the second pitch, and that is fouled, and it's going to be over into the Kickapoo bullpen for strike one. Well, the Cats had a 5th inning where Kickapoo did not score, but neither did the Cats. That's the first inning we've seen like that. Versluis frocks and fires and throws an inside low ball, and that'll make the count 2 balls and a strike. Versluis takes a big deep breath and throws an off-speed pitch in there for call strike 2. Now this ball game has been going on 2 hours, and it's not even the 7th inning yet. So, Versluis on the mound, and here comes the next pitch, and that's fouled off. So we'll do it again. So now we've got Boston Patterson at third base. We've got Hudson Williams at second base. We've got Jaden Nichols at Hudson Williams at shortstop and Jaden Nichols at second base. And there's another pitch that's going to inside for a ball, and then the count is full. And Lim McInturf over at first base. And Finn Versluis on the mound for the Cats. Here comes the next pitch, and that's inside for a ball. Cats can't seem to find any way to not throw balls tonight. And looks like that we're going to have a pinch runner, and that is Jacob Wilkerson, I believe. And here's Jax Hill, the shortstop. Versluis will go for pitch from the stretch. He looks over at first base for just a minute or two. McInturf holding the runner on. Here comes the first pitch, and that is inside for a ball. Cats have had their share of problems tonight just trying to find the strike zone. That one's high and outside, and there was a throw back to first base. But the runner, Wilson, is there in plenty of time. There's a snap throw back to first base from Versluis. In the outfield, it is Fisher, Jennings, and Rodriguez. So we've had several people play several different positions. And there was a foul ball. And he tried to hold back, but it just came right off of the bat. Then it'll be the top of the batting order for Kickapoo. Versluis looks down. Here comes the next pitch, and that one's fouled back out of the way. And we'll do it again. Count remains the same, 2-2. Runner on first base, top half of the 6th inning. Kickapoo up by a score of 12-3. Versluis looks over at first base, waits for the signal, and then snap throw back over, and Wilson's there in plenty of time. Comes the next pitch, high for a ball. That'll run the count full on Jax Hill. Hill's had a couple of hits. He got on by way of an error in the 3rd inning. And there's a run, and it's a ball. So Wilson had taken off for second base, but no need to worry about that because there's another base on balls.
Yep.
Here's Luke Scott. He left fielder, but he bats from the left-hand side. He's had a single, a ground rule double. He's walked and flied out to center field. It's a ball inside. The sun is just getting to the place now that the outfield is having to spend more time shading their eyes with their glove, maybe.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
It does. Here comes the next pitch, and that's a right across home plate for strike one. That was a fastball. And here comes the next pitch underway. A little bit high for ball two. 2 balls and a strike, no outs. Runners on first and second, top half of the 6th inning. And there is a hard hit ball to center field. Drake Jennings giving chase. He makes the play. And on the tag up, a runner advances from second to third. But there's the first out. That brings up Connor Smith, the second baseman. He had a run in the first inning, came around and scored. He had a hit in the second inning, came around and scored. He flied out to center field and 6-3'd, grounded out his last time up. Versluis working from the stretch, and he gets ready to throw the ball to third base, and then turns around and throws it over to McInturf, but there was no catching. Hill's sleeping on that one. Here comes the first pitch. And it was called strike one. Cats will have the day off tomorrow, and there's a runner going down, and Canton fakes a throw down and turns back to third base, but there's nothing doing. The third base runner was still just stayed put. Nichols comes all the way in. We've seen Fisher do that a little bit too. Come all the way in, ready for a play at the plate, I believe. And that ball was high. It'll make the count 2 balls and a strike on Colin Smith. There's the next pitch, and that is a ground ball that is going to get through the infield, and 1 run's going to score. Here comes the second run in to score 2. And now the Cats are really going to have to do something because they're down by 11. That normally would have been a ball that Hudson Williams would have caught, but he was out of play a little bit, was playing in at a play for the plate, so he was playing in a little bit close, and that bounced right over him. Here's the catcher, Easton. There's the first pitch, and there is a hard ball hit out to center field. Here comes Jennings in, makes the play, makes a diving play, in fact.
What a catch.
Nice catch that time. I'm sure the sun didn't help him just a whole lot that time either.
No, but that kind of catch gets you on the highlight reels.
Yeah, it sure does. It sure does. That was a great catch, and there's 2 outs. But there's also been 2 runs scored in the top half of the 6th inning. Here's Nick Long, the right fielder. And there's the first pitch from Finn Versluisen. It's called strike 1. Long scored in the first inning. Since then, nothing doing. He is grounded out 3 times. Snap throw back over to first base, but runner's back in plenty of time. Versluisen in relief of Williams, and runner acts like he's going to go, but he thinks better of it. Williams is on in relief of McInturf. McInturf is on in relief of Boston Patterson, who now is at third base for the Cats. Here comes Finn's next pitch. And a slow-hanging curveball, a little bit high for a ball. So the count is 2 balls and a strike on Nick Long, the right fielder. There's the next one, and that is ball 4. Oh, no, I guess that hit him, didn't it?
Yeah.
I was going to say, wait a minute, that's not ball 4. It couldn't be.
He hit him on the elbow, I believe.
Yeah. Here is, I don't believe, is that a pinch hitter?
Number 9.
No. Here's Dylan Smith. Runners on first and second. Smith got a base hit his last time up and was stranded at second base. Here's the first pitch, and it's got some heat with it. Strike 1. Comes the next pitch underway, and he hit him. So that'll load the bases. Yeah, looks like that Coach Osborne is going to make a move out to the mound for just a minute. We're going to see if we don't have a maybe a pitch hitter that is coming in. We'll see here in just a second. Coach Hauser's taking this time to bring his base runners over and talk to them for just a minute and see what they need to do. Well, the discussion at the mound is over with, and everybody will go back. And this is a left-handed hitter that's up. It is a pinch hitter. And I can't see that number. Can you, Matt?
No.
This is difficult with the uniforms that they have. It's hard to see the number. But it is the left-handed batter. Here comes the first pitch from Versluis. And that's a strike on the outside corner. Looks like maybe 16. If that's so, that's Paxton Nielsen.
I guess you can see it better at your angle than I can.
Here comes the next pitch. And there's called strike 2. So very quickly, I'm not sure what Coach Osborne said, but Versluis is up on pinch hitter. 2 strikes in a row. Well, let's just go ahead and back him back out of here and get this one done. Ball got away from Canton Smith, but he made sure that the runner wasn't going, so he got around there and got it. So ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. But the score is 14-3, top half of the 6th inning. Here comes the next pitch. Got him, strike 3. Took a minute or two because I wasn't sure what the home plate umpire looked like a strikeout to me. But unfortunately, they picked up 2 more runs. Now the score is 14-3. The Cats have got to pick up at least 1 run or they'll be run ruled in the 6th inning. You're watching the Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Tally Tire at 18152 East Highway 86 is a proud supporter of local high school athletics. Tally Tire is your full-service car and truck headquarters. They carry name-brand tires such as Nexen, Mastercraft and Uniroyal, ATC camper shells and bed covers, and do oil changes and tune-ups. Call Tally Tire today for all your automotive needs at 417-451-0457 or online at tallytire.com.
The law offices of Wood & Peterson is sponsoring this portion of Neosho Wildcat Athletics, located at 217 South Lafayette, Neosho, and 431 Virginia Avenue in Joplin. They serve Southwest Missouri with personal claim representation. For more information, the phone number is 417-451-4141 or online at neoshoattorney.com. The law offices of Wood & Peterson are proud supporters of the Neosho Wildcats.
And welcome back to the Marion Family Complex. It is the bottom half of the 6th inning. We're at the Roy B. Shaver Baseball Stadium, and the Cats have got to score at least 2 in order to keep this thing going. 1 will tie it up, but that'll still be 10 runs, so we've got to score 2. Here's McInturf. He has hit a single and come around and scored in the 2nd inning. And Cats have been pretty well scoreless. There's the first pitch. It's in there for call strike 1. They scored 3 all the way back in the 2nd inning. And have been held scoreless since then. McInturf was slapped the ball. I mean, literally slapped it in between first and second base to get on when he scored in that 3rd inning. And there's no balls and 2 strikes. And there's a ground ball that is going to be foul. And kind of a high hopper. And the count remains the same. After McInturf, it'll be Jennings, Crane, and Rodriguez. Comes the next pitch, and it's high and outside for a ball. Mr. Colin Muldoon is everything that the records say about him. He is a prolific pitcher, and there is a ball that is high up in the air that McInturf hits. Right fielder is making the play for the out. So there's 1 down.
Now batting number 13, Drake Jennings.
Here's Drake Jennings. Jennings had a single and came around and scored in that 3rd inning. And there's a ball low and inside for ball 1. Muldoon just kind of works at his own pace and just goes right on through. There's the second pitch. That one's outside for a ball. So the count is 2-0 on Drake Jennings. Squeeze the bat around a little bit, and there is a ball that is hit.
Base hit.
Yeah, right over the third baseman's head. Just a little blooper over there. So Jennings is on for the second time. Here's Brody Crane, the designated hitter. We will see him on the mound on Thursday when we go to Ozark. Catcher has stopped to take his headgear off or something. He's got it back on now. Crane stands in there, staring down Muldoon, and there is a hard hit ball that is way back, way back, and it looks like it's going to be a ground rule double. So Crane gets a hold of one, goes dead center. If that had been in left field, it had been out of the ballpark, no questions asked. So we will. Cats have got something going now. We've got runners on second and third. And here's Rodriguez. Rodriguez, Fisher, and Williams. Cats could get something going here and we can extend this ball game. There's the first pitch, and that was a call, strike one. Creighton hit that ball hard, hit it a long way to dead center field. It took one bounce, and before it even went over the fence, the center fielder was signaling it was a ground rule double. Rodriguez swings at one for strike two. One out, we're in the bottom half of the sixth inning. Cats have got some opportunities. Runner on second and third. After Rodriguez, it'll be Jaden Fisher, who now is playing left field. There's the next pitch, and there's a ground ball to the second baseman, and they get up and over, but we score a run, so that makes it 14-4. And Crane takes third base. So the Cats score a run, but we're still down by 10. And here's Fisher. A single would bring in another run there at third base in Brody Crane. There's a ball high. After Fisher, it'll be Hudson Williams, then it'll be the top of the batting order. Muldoon looks down. He's pitched the whole ball game, and there is a solid hit right up the middle, and the Cats bring in another run. And Jaden looks like he's going to go to second, but he doesn't. So the Cats score what they've got to score in order to extend the ball game. And Fisher has a base hit. Here's Hudson Williams. Twirls his bat around just a little bit. Fisher will probably see if he can get into Muldoon's mind here. So here comes the first pitch, and that's fouled off, strike one. Hudson swings that bat around a little bit, and he's ready. Here comes got him. Oh, no, he was safe. All right. Nice pickoff play that time by Muldoon. Looked like he had Fisher, but the base umpire said he was safe, so they may try to do that again. Here's a swung. There's a strike two. Looked like Hudson was going to swing at that one, but did not. Top of the batting order's next if Hudson gets on. Here comes a pitch, and Fisher is going to go down to second base, and he just stands. He started to slide, but then he saw that there wasn't going to be a play, so he thought, I'll just stand up. There's no need in getting carried away with that.
They didn't even try.
No. So Jaden Fisher got a single, and he has stolen second base. Hudson Williams has got a ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And here comes the pitch. And there's a ball that is hit foul over on the right-hand side. So we'll do it again. Muldoon looks over. Here comes his pitch, and he's going to step off the rubber and look like he's throwing the ball back to second. Fisher's back in plenty of time. One of the coaches over there is putting some fingers up in the air. I'm not sure exactly what all that is, but we'll see. Here comes the pitch, and there's a ball that is going to be hit, and it is foul. But that was a well-hit ball that time by Hudson Williams. And the count remains the same. A ball and 2 strikes. Not sure how many pitches Muldoon has got right now, but here comes the next one, and Hudson fouls that one back. So we'll continue to do it again. Cats have picked up 2 this inning, which was exactly what they needed to do in order to go into the 7th inning. Comes the next pitch, and that is way outside. That'll even the count at 2-2. Comes the next pitch, and that was took something off of that curveball that did not go over the plate, so that'll run the count full on Hudson Williams. The shortstop of record now for the Cats. I think Muldoon tried to get him to chase one, and there's ball 4. Here's for Sluice. He's had a single. He has flied out, and it looks like that's going to be all the pitches for Muldoon. They're bringing a pitcher out, or a coach out. Well, maybe not. They're still talking about it out there. There's somebody up getting ready to go down into the bullpen. I don't know who that is. We can't see the number on the back of their shirts. Versluis had a single way back in the 2nd inning and was stranded right there. Colin Muldoon, here comes the first pitch, and it's called strike 1 on the inside corner. That is just not a pitch that Versluis is anxious about trying to swing at. He's been jammed on that inside corner 2 or 3 times. He crowds the play pretty good as it is, though. Stands in there, bat wiggles just a little bit. Here comes the next pitch, and that is a ball low. Catcher Easton does a good job of smothering that, so nobody on the Cats' base paths can advance. Muldoon kind of wavers back and forth. Here comes a pitch, and that's a ball on the inside. 2 balls and a strike. And the coach over there is holding up several different fingers. I'm not sure what he's telling them over there, but here comes Muldoon's pitch, and that's a foul ball. So the count is 2-2 on Finn Versluis, now the pitcher of record for Neosho. Cats scored 2 in the 3rd. They've scored 2 in this inning. The Chiefs scored 4 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 4 in the fourth, and 2 in the sixth. And there's call strike 3. He knew it. just walked away, that little swinging curveball. And that ends the innings, but the Cats did what they had to do. They picked up 2 runs, and we go to the top half of the 7th inning with the score being 14-5 in favor of the Kickapoo Chiefs. We'll be right back after this. You're watching Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network.
McKay Quality Roofing is a proud supporter of KNEO Radio and the Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. They're located in their offices at 811 South Neosho Boulevard. They specialize in roof removal and replacement of residential and commercial properties. In order to serve you better, they have offices in Neosho, Cassville, and Grove, Oklahoma. Call McKay Quality Roofing at 417-455-3326 for a free quote, or go online at McKayQualityRoofing.com for more information. Go Cats!
You've got to have someone that understands what you are doing as a mission. Community bankers are important that way because they understand the community relationships that we have to form to be successful.
I feel like First Community Bank and Myers-Davis, our cultures are so similar. It is all about relationship.
It's a real boon to our community to have a bank like First Community to be supportive of so many things.
They're willing to take a chance on entrepreneurs, which is helpful to make the community grow.
Welcome back to the ballpark at Roy B. Shaver Stadium. Cooper Charlton comes in to try to finish the ball game off for the Cats and hold Kickapoo down without getting any more runs. And I believe for Sluices, he's just going to go sit and have a seat, I believe. And everybody is still going to be in the same position. There's the ball and it's thrown down. Hudson Williams at shortstop has got his hand shielding his eyes, so that's not anything good for the Cats. But here is Nick Lapari. He had a triple. He's had a base on balls. He came around and scored, and he's flied out twice. Here comes Charlton's first pitch, and that's in there for call strike 1. Charlton spent some time last year with the Cats. He was a base runner, and he was also a pinch hitter. This is the first time we've seen him this year. And the sun is just playing tricks with everybody right now. That ball got away from him. The count is even at 1-1. Here comes the next pitch. And that's high and outside for a ball. Charlton pitching from the windup. Here comes the next, a little bit of a high kick, and there's call strike 2. Remind you to be with us on Thursday night when Matt and I will travel to Ozark when the Cats take on another COC game to try to right the ship at Ozark. And there is a ball that is hit, and unfortunately, I'm not sure whether that ball would have ended up caroming out or not, but it was a little old nibbler. Whatever it was a gift.
Yeah.
And so Lavari gets on first base with a base hit. And here's Brody Wilson. No, this is another left-handed batter. They're just stepping in there. And we can't tell who that is, but Charlton throws his first one. And that's a call strike on the outside corner. Well, Charlton's got a little bit of heat, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably not a time, like just as I was getting ready to say, he's probably not going to pay much attention to the runner at first, and he wheeled around and threw it back. Here comes the next pitch. Another heater for call strike 2.
Yeah, he's got some fire in there.
Yeah. So the batter, and we still don't know who it is, bats from the left-hand side of the plate. And there's another throw back over to first base. Here it is. And can't seem to drop the ball, so the runner goes into second base. just not been the Cats' night, offensively or defensively. Here comes the next pitch. And that's a little bit outside for a ball. That'll even the count at 2-2. We're in the top half of the 7th inning. Score is 14-5 in favor of the Kickapoo Chiefs. Here comes the next pitch. And that was low for a ball. So that'll run the count full. Charlton looks back, he stretches, and there's a swung on, and he got him, strike 3. So there's the first out to retire the side, but the runner goes on from second to third. And here is Jax Hill. He is a shortstop. He has had 2 hits. One he scored on in the 2nd inning. Then he got a base on balls in the 6th and came on around to score. Charlotte can pitch about however he wants to now, and there's the first one, and it is a heater, and it's strike 1.
He's looking pretty good, you know.
Yes, he is. He certainly is. Here comes the next pitch. There's strike 2. So there's 2 of them, and he gets out in front of Jax Hill. Looks over at third base. Here comes the next pitch. A little bit low and outside for a ball. Canton's able to corral that one, keep it from going anywhere. Be the top of the batting order up after this. Here comes the next pitch. Got him, strike 3. So Cooper Charlton's come in and got 2 strikeouts in the 7th inning. And here's the left fielder, Luke Scott, bats from the bats left-handed. And Rodriguez steps back towards the warning track a little bit, and there's the first pitch. And that's a ball. Charlton looks down. Here comes a high kick. And there's called strike 1. He looks down at Canton Smith. Here comes the next pitch. And there's, well, we thought maybe that was a call strike, but it wasn't. It was ball 2. So there's 2 balls and a strike. There's 2 outs. It's the top half of the 7th inning. Here comes the next pitch from Charlton. And there's called 2, strike 2. He thought better of it. Scott was going to hold up, but his bat did cross the plane of the plate.
Yep.
So that evens the count at 2-2. And the next pitch is high for a ball. That'll run the count full. Cooper Smith is second baseman is up next, and it looks like that's not the case. I got him, strike 3. So Cooper Charlton comes in and gives up a base hit, but strikes out the side. And the score is 14-5 in favor of Kickapoo. The Cats come up, and they're going to have to do something really special right here. You're watching the Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. We'll be right back.
I'm a Missouri Farm Bureau insurance agent. I'm for working hard for what you get and then protecting what you've got. Your home, your vehicles, your life. I'm for making an honest living and taking pride in what you do. And for giving back to the community I call home. I'm for serving my clients with the respect and dignity you would expect from the farmers that started this company. And though I know you probably hope you never need me, I'm here for you when you do. I'm a Missouri Farm Bureau insurance agent. And if you're a Missourian, I'm for you.
I am Josh Dotson with Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance Services. If you're in Missouri, I'm for you.
A proud supporter of local high school athletics is Numac Electric. Serving Newton and McDonald County, they provide power for area homes and businesses and want to wish all the athletes much success throughout the season. For online bill pay and account information, the website is numac.com or 417-451-1515. Numac Electric, proudly serving Newton and McDonald County, where their slogan is your touchstone energy partner.
And it's the bottom half of the 7th inning for the Neosho Wildcats. Connor Smith, the second baseman, comes in, and he's going to try to close the ball game out for Colin Muldoon, and he will be facing Jaden Nichols, Caden Smith, and Lim McInturf. Well, and there's a ball getting ready to throw it down to second. And there's the throw, and we're going to be ready to get this thing going. Cats have got a big hole to fill right here in the 7th inning, but anything is possible, Matt.
Yep. As long as you continue to fight, you have a chance.
Yep, as you said earlier, these Cats continue to fight. There's not been a whole lot that has gone their way. They've started out with some errors in the first inning that cost them, and Kickapoo, certainly like any good team would, took advantage of that. And then they were held scoreless for the next 4 innings after they scored 3. Here's the first pitch to Nichols, and there's a call, strike 1. But when it came right down to it in the 6th inning, they did exactly what they needed to do in order to extend the ball game. Nichols swung at that one. That was strike 2. Smith took a little something off of that one. Here comes the next. Got him, strike 3. Catcher loses the ball and gets around and throws it down to first base for the out. Here's the senior catcher, Kenton Smith. After him will be McInturf. Here comes the first pitch from Smith to Smith, and it's called strike 1 on the outside corner. Can't adjust his headgear just a little bit. He steps back in there. There's the next pitch, and there's strike 2. Kenton's going to step back out for a minute or two, take a swing or two, even not thinking that he was convinced that second was a strike, but there is a hard hit ball that's going to bloop out. It looks like it's going to drop, and it does. So Kenton gets it's a hit by a little bit of a bloop, and he's on first base. And that's his first hit of the night. Here's the first baseman, Lim McInturf. And we're going to have a pinch runner, and that pinch runner is number 29. That is Dane Arthur. A little bit more speed out there. You know, there are several high pitches that have fallen in that have been really suspect as far as Kickapoo's concerned, Matt. They've just fallen in between players, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
You know, there's a call, strike 1 from Smith. McInturf had a single and came around to score back in the 2nd inning. And he flied out to right field his last time up. And there's a ball that's fouled off. There's another one of those big hoppers, but it's fouled off over towards the Wildcat dugout. There's a JV ball game after this one, and then we will be with you the next time on Thursday night from Ozark. And then we'll be right back here on Friday night when Pea Ridge comes to town. There is a call, strike 3. And McInturf knew it. Took something off of that one a little bit. So there's 2 outs. Here's Drake Jennings. I think this has been a long, long ball game. It is 7:15, and it's the bottom of the 7th. I'm sure everybody here just wants to get this ball game over with. There's the first pitch, and it was back. Jennings back out. A little bit of chin music for ball 1. Here's the next ball, almost got away from the catcher. And Arthur down at first base. Just goes back to first. No way. I'm sure he does not want to be called out trying to steal second base. Comes Smith's next pitch, and that's low for a ball. 3 balls and no strikes to Drake Jennings. And next would be Brody Crane, who hit a
ground rule double.
Ground rule double, yeah, out in dead center field the last time up. Comes the next pitch, and there's called strike 1. Yeah, Jennings may very well take another one. He's pretty disciplined up at the plate. We may try to get a little something going with the 3-1 count. 2. And ball 4. So we've got runners on first and second now with 2 outs. And here's Brody Crane, the designated hitter, number 4. As we said, we will see him on the mound for the Cats Thursday night against Ozark. Ozark has a record of 13-4. The Cats lose this one, they will go to 13-3, but still have the lead. And he takes a swing at that one for strike 1. Crane stands back in there looking at Smith. Here comes he looks over at second base. Here comes a pitch. And there's called strike 2. That one caught the outside corner.
Boy, I was waiting for him to rip that one.
Yep, that. He stands in there. He'll have to protect the plate now. Here it comes. And he got him, strike 3, and it's catcher got away with it, and it went by, but that ends the ball game. Neosho Wildcats get beat in the 7th inning by a score of 14-5. We want you to stay tuned for the post-game show, which is brought to you by Arvest Bank. The Neosho Wildcats now go to a record of 13-3, and they are 2-1 in the conference. We will go to Ozark, and that definitely has not only conference implications but also has district implications this next Thursday night. But the Cats have got the day off tomorrow, so they'll be able to work on some things. You're watching the Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. We'll be right back after this.
Today's Wildcat game is brought to you by Edgewood Bowling Center of Neosho, Missouri. Located at 2811 Gardner Edgewood Drive, they now have new synthetic lanes for adult and children bowling leagues and a smoke-free environment. They also have a certified pro shop and hosting for private parties. They offer Cosmic Glow Bowling on Fridays and Saturdays after 8 p.m. To learn more about Edgewood Bowling Center and their leagues for adults and children, the phone number is 417-451-4505.
If you're a weekend warrior who likes to go, 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 don't let pain put the brakes on your pace. When you need help with an injury that keeps you from moving, you want an orthopedic team with a proven track record. Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is nationally recognized, and were recently named CareCheck's #1 hospital in the market and top 10% hospital in the state for hip fracture repair. Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the experience you need to keep pace with life.
You've got to have someone that understands what you are doing as a mission. Community bankers are important that way because they understand the community relationships that we have to form to be successful.
I feel like First Community Bank and Myers Davis, our cultures are so similar. It is all about relationships.
It's a real boon to our community to have a bank like First Community to be supportive of so many things.
They're willing to take a chance on entrepreneurs, which is helpful to make the community grow.
Welcome back to the Marion Family Complex. The ball game is over. It took 2 hours and 50 minutes to get that ball game out of the way. But Kickapoo comes to town. It's ironic that they beat Joplin this last week, and now they've beat the Cats by a score of 14-5. They will go to 8-7, and they are 3-1 as far as COC is concerned. The Cats dropped their first ball game, so they are now 3-1 as far as COC is concerned, but they are 13-3. So at this point, Matt, they are still ahead of the Ozark Tigers, who we go see on Thursday night.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a tough night for the Cats from the very beginning. Boston Patterson was on the mound to begin with. Just did not have his stuff, and defense made some errors. There was some forced errors in the first inning, and Kickapoo took advantage of that. They scored 3 again in the second inning, 1 in the third, 4 in the fourth, 2 in the sixth, and the Cats scored 3 in the second inning. They scored another 2 in the bottom of the sixth inning in order to extend the ball game into 7 innings. Tough deal for the Cats. We're going to take one more timeout, and then we'll come back with the wrap. You're watching the Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network.
We all have those days where we don't want to get up. But when we have true discipline and choose to rise up, we become the best version of ourselves. To start your journey today, visit risefitnesscenter.com.
Hi, this is Pastor Mike from Calvary of Neosho, and I want to take a few moments to give you hope today. Are you feeling overwhelmed with the daily struggles of affording rent, paying for groceries, buying gas? I want you to know that there is a God who is big enough to handle all these problems and bring you relief. He wants you to live free from worry and stress. James 4:2 says, "You have not because you ask not." Have you asked God to help you today? For KNEO Radio, I'm Mike Leake.
Welcome back to the post-game show that's brought to you by Arvest Bank. Arvest Bank of Neosho, we believe in the power of serving others. From small businesses to agriculture, whether you're looking for someone to help manage your mortgage or an expert in wealth management, we got you covered. You deserve a financial partner who cares and can help you reach your financial goals. Arvest Bank, proud to call Neosho home. Well, Matt, the Cats could never just get off of it, could they? They just kept on fighting back. This was a place they have never been before, and Kickapoo being the team that they are, and I'd say that they are more than a 500 ball club, as Coach Hosier would tell us, that they are coming into their own right now, and they took advantage of some miscues by the Cats, and their pitcher was their prolific pitcher, Mr. Muldoon, and he went all the way up into the 7th inning and kept the Cats at bay.
Yeah. Well, Mom always said there'll be days like these, and this is one of those days. We started out a little sloppy, and Kickapoo they just took it on us. So.
Yeah, they did, but we go to Ozark on Thursday night. We got a chance to right the ship again. We called Monday night a bounce-back Monday. I guess we'll call Thursday a bounce-back Thursday. Then we'll come back home on Friday night when we take on Pea Ridge, Arkansas baseball team. We will start the ball game at 4:30 from Ozark on Thursday night. Pregame show will be at 4 o'clock. So until we see you the next time, John Ball and Matt Ball saying, Go Cats!
Welcome to Neosho Wildcat Baseball, live on KNEO.org. This broadcast is a sporting outreach of the KNEO Sports Network. You're now locked into the official pregame show of the Neosho Wildcats. Now let's go to the game site for all the action. This has been a live production of KNEO Sports. This broadcast may not be reproduced or retransmitted. Welcome to Neosho Wildcat Baseball, live on KNEO.org. This broadcast is a sporting outreach of the KNEO Sports Network. You're now locked into the official pregame show of the Neosho Wildcats. Now let's go to the game site for all the action. This has been a live production of KNEO Sports. This broadcast may not be reproduced or retransmitted without the express written consent of KNEO Sports Network. This has been a sporting outreach of KNEO Sports Network, reaching into communities to make a difference for eternity.